What up? What up? Give me 1 second, please. What's up? What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for being here. You guys let me know how the audio is coming through. Hey, that lawsuit's gearing up. It's gearing up, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, welcome all the Denzians. The denizens. The Ninzians. What lawsuit? We're filing a lawsuit against the internet. The entire internet. The entire internet. Everyone's getting sued. Every single person. I'm gonna pull the strong Wookiee defense. I'm sure that'll work. The internet does always seem to win, doesn't it? What's up, Ivan? Glad to have you here. Let's see. I wish my chats were the same. It's really annoying to see a chat over here that I can't see over here. Can I cover workers' rights, equal employment? You've been watching hidden camera footage from Amazon, and it's insane. That'd be something I'd have to really dig into, because I don't know how many. Surely you guys know at least something about this. That let me fade this music out. It's kind of distracting. There's different expertise within the study of law, right? And workers' rights are basically an entire field that a specialized attorney would look into. Of course, I'm not an attorney. I'm not trying to put myself on the same level as an attorney, but I mostly look at constitutional law, which is highly specific, So I really don't know much about the whole framework of employment law beyond just the fundamentals. So, but that said, yeah, bird law is definitely one of those fields, probably the most dense one. Yeah, workers' rights equals you have none. That's what Thomas is saying. Thanks for being here, Rick Ross. But yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, the thing is like it's easy to say things that are like, sort of broad overarching ideas about certain, disciplines of law, but I don't feel comfortable talking outside of my wheelhouse. And constitutional law is basically the only kind of law that I would feel moderately qualified to talk about. I mean, I don't know, qualifications and credentials kind of cross over at some point. So lawyers, you're right, Sandy. Lawyers don't know it all. That's for sure. And I was just talking to James Wyatt about an hour ago from Southern Draw Law, and we were talking about how there's a lot of attorneys that are, they graduated the bar and that was the extent of their legal knowledge. And I'll put it to you this way: we hired someone in a while back to help with the research. We went through a lot of trouble to try to get them up to par with what we expect, to be able to contribute in a meaningful way to helping us do this faster. And it didn't work out. And that was after like 4 or 5 months of vetting people, paying a bunch of money to for these professional services to link us to qualified candidates. And after going through, 30 different candidates and narrowing it down and testing phases and all that, even the candidate that we picked out of hundreds of people and we highly vetted and took the time to do didn't work out. I'm not trying to speak on that person's merit as an attorney, but it just goes to show that one attorney can't do it all. You kind of need a bunch of different sets of skills depending on what you're doing with your law degree, and it's very possible to become an attorney who's not very good at understanding the law. Lawyers equal people, people equal stupid. That's right. Attorneys are no exception to this rule. If you think someone's dumb, they probably are. That's generally the broad brush that I would paint with this sort of characterization of people. That generally, I'll just say that my intuition has rarely failed me. That when I felt that someone was a dumbass, they usually were. So, yeah. Confirmation bias towards yourself is hitting hard. Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is like it's all relative at the end of the day. I'm sure that there are people more intelligent than me out there. By the way, Michelle, I did not get your email. Send me an email. Copy and paste this email I'm about to put in the chat because it's missing a T. You got to be careful with this email. Email me, Michelle, because I still didn't get your email from last stream. All right, but anyway, the thing about it is that intelligence is very much a spectrum, and there are people out there who are way smarter than me that would probably feel the same way about me. So, like, if I, were attempting to carry a conversation with one of the smartest people in the world, he'd probably think I was a dumbass. You know what I mean? And so it's not a matter of like being the smartest person in the world. I think it's more about using your intelligence to the best of your ability, so it's not like I'm going to be out here writing legislation that's going to fix all the problems within law enforcement or developing a new framework for unifying quantum physics and relativity. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of intellectual value to offer the world in certain ways, and the same goes for all of you watching this right now. So don't sell yourself short just because someone else thinks you're a dumbass. Plenty of people have thought I'm a dumbass in my life. Your perception is your reality. Yeah, that is a lot of it too. I think your perception is entirely your reality. I'm starting to lean into the immaterial philosophical perspectives about that too. And even, I think a lot more is a matter of perspective than people think. I'll just say that to quantify it in a real simple explanation. From North Pole, Alaska. That's what's up. That's cool to see people in Alaska watching the show. I think of Alaska as this which I have a friend from Alaska, and he lived there for quite a while, but he lived in I think Anchorage or somewhere close to Anchorage. So he was kind of in the more metropolis area. But every time I think of Alaska, I just think of someone in their cabin on their laptop watching me living some much simpler life than I am. Yeah, say hi to those aliens up there. I'm sure that would be a place they were chilling. You caught my forehand video being from Fort Bend, and you were very saddened to see it. Yeah, Fort Bend need to get their shit together. That's for sure. Um, that was a good video too. The aunt coming through for her kids and stuff was that's the stuff you like to see. You know what I mean? That was a really good video. That was a good watch. Eye of the Night says, of course, perception is reality because of perception is how you take in the world. And that's by all of your experience up to the current point. Perceptions can change over time through experience. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I think what I was getting at really was that I think that never mind. I don't even want I'm going to go off a cliff if I start talking about this. So I don't want to dive that far into the subject. We're departing quite a bit from what we're here to do. And maybe we can have a whole stream dedicated to talking about my philosophical ideologies, but I don't think that that's what most people want to watch when they come here. Yeah. I think it's time to get into the oh, no, wait. Speaking of that, Lady Cop. You saying Lady Cop brought up something that I want to address. It's an email I got today. And this is going to be my only time saying this, so I'm not going to say the person who sent me this email, but they did send it to the email address that's associated with the John Lang channel as well. So I'm assuming, and based on the language of this email, I'm assuming that they consume the content from this channel, and I'm hoping that this message will reach them in particular. But I've received emails about this multiple times now. And I think I should just say something about it, just to give the people that are inquiring about this something to chew on. And again, I'm not, because this is a controversial, what I'm about to say probably, and the whole subject I'm about to address, I'm only going to do it once because I'm not falling into this drama trap of constantly having to defend things that I do and say on the channel. But because this has been such a consistent criticism, I think it deserves a little bit of a response. So I'm not going to read this whole email because it is kind of long, but I'll read the gist of like what their critique is and address that. So this person says they're a big fan. They've been watching the channel for a long time, and they even bought the Civilian Rights Hand Guide. Shout out to you. Thank you for doing that, and I hope you got something out of it. Gonna skip the glazing part where they're appreciating the work. And here's where they get into the critique. So it says, a few of your videos go out of their way in their title to highlight the more grabby parts of the encounters, which I understand is part of the game of YouTube, and contributes greatly to clicks and viewership. So no judgment there. And yes, I'm not going to deny that. My philosophy, first of all, this is a good way to set this up, because my philosophy when it comes to titling and thumbnail is that you have, first of all, you have to play YouTube's game. There's no, if I were to title and thumbnail these how I would want to do it, like through just pure authenticity, like this is exactly what this video is about, my channel wouldn't have went nowhere. And where would we be in the whole, civil rights community on YouTube without those kind of clickbaity titles? Literally everyone does it. And honestly, it's because of YouTube that people do it. It's not because they want to. It's because this is the standard that YouTube has set for all content creators. I hate that it's like that we're basically turning YouTube into the homepage into a tabloid. That's basically what it is like. But the problem is, if we don't do it, YouTube will literally hurt your channel for not doing it. So you have to pick a choice. Either I can just, this is where it gets to my philosophy about it. So my idea is, okay, well, if we have to play the game, we'll play the game. But I kind of think of it, and a good analogy is like fishing. Like I'm casting out the bait for you to click this video. And hopefully once you sink your teeth into it, you'll think that it was worth your bite. So that's the idea, is that I'm hoping that you'll click the video. I'm doing everything I can to make you click the video. And then once you do, I hope that you feel like it was worth it at the end. Cuz for me, as someone who's on YouTube and consumes a lot of YouTube content, that's what I want out of a video. I don't mind being sucked in by a title or a thumbnail. I get that that's the nature of online content, but what I don't like is when the creator doesn't deliver the content beyond that. And I think that that is the real critique of having a clickbaity title or thumbnail, is that if you do, well, then you need to provide some value to the content once you get the click. So that's kind of my philosophy about that aspect of it. Anyway, anyway, let's get into the real critique that they're talking about here. So they said they understand that and no judgment about the clickbaity titles. However, there are some cases where you go as far as to say something like female officer or corrupt female officer. I'm sure you're aware that the fact that the encounter is with a female makes it much more inflammatory and popular as a video. And it feels like you may be using that to attract more viewers. I love your work, but females in traditionally male professions have to face lots of resistance as it is. And I think adding to this rhetoric for views does a lot of harm. I'm sure you'd never clarify if it was a male officer in the encounter. And to be fair, I want to read this next part because I think this is important, because I'm not doing this to flame the person who sent me this email. I think this is a valid critique at the end of the day. And they're not the only person who shares this opinion. So I want to read this next part because I think it's important, an important window into the character of who sent this email. So they followed that up by saying, apologies if this sounds like I'm up on a high horse. I understand that it's difficult to be 100% inoffensive, but this feels like an intentional way to be provocative and seems inconsistent with how objective and fair you tend to be. Cops are just cops. It doesn't matter whether they're female or male. And it feels wrong to say something like female cop in a title because you know it will attract attention for both people and those who think female officers are less competent. So basically the critique here is that I'm somehow contributing to anti-female rhetoric by pointing out the novelty of there being a female officer involved in the encounter. And I think that that is wrong, it's not a legitimate critique, that there's no objective basis for levying that critique. And my response would be that the reason I do it is because of the novelty. The whole industry of policing is dominated by males, as this emailer pointed out. So it is a novel event when a female officer does something wrong. It's a novel event when any officer does something wrong. And to put it to you simply, I'm using female because it does attract views. But I don't think that just because they're a female that it makes them, that it's somehow an attack on all women. I think that by assigning that ideology to this, you're assigning a preferential and subjective perception of what is being said to something that is objectively true. It is a novel event when there are women in law enforcement. They make up like 12% of the entire police force. There's like 1.5 million police officers, and only about 12% of those are female. So when they make a mistake or they do something wrong, it is particularly novel because you have a minority of police officers, and then one of those minorities makes a mistake. So it's a very rare event that is worth identifying. And that's it. So to give you an analogy, if there were somehow a teenager police officer, like let's say they allowed an 18-year-old to be hired, I would put in the title, teenage officer makes this mistake or whatever. I would definitely say that in the title. And it is purely because of the novelty. If you feel the need to assign subjective interpretations of what I'm saying to what I'm saying, that's your problem. You know, I'm not gonna change the objective reality of something being novel just to appease the current societal discourse surrounding women in the workforce. So that's I'm I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stop doing that. To be honest, I did that when I worked in the news industry. So I'm not gonna treat YouTube any different just because it has exposure to certain groups of people and their personal incentives and ideologies. It's not going to influence what I do. So I do appreciate the critique, and I do think that it comes from a place of it's not a malicious critique. It's a legitimate critique to have. But I think that if you understand the content and who I am and the content that I create, then you understand that it's not an attack on women. But I will answer, Rogue Terry, since you brought this up, I will answer this question. But I'm going to preface this answer by saying that my answer to this question has absolutely nothing to do while with why I put female in the title. So what's my take on female cops is that I think that we should have female cops, but I don't think that they should be operating in a patrol capacity because I think it's just inherently more dangerous that way. And I'm going to do a video about this at some point and talk about why I think all the objective reasons why I think that female patrol officers are a bad idea. And it has nothing to do with sexism. You know, it has nothing to, it's not, I'm not just going to lay out women are too emotional. You know, that's not my fundamental argument for why women shouldn't be in police force. But if you were to ask me like on the spot, I could name a few things. That would certainly be one of them. But it's not the qualifier because there are certainly far too many emotional men in law enforcement. So yeah, anyway, we'll run deeper on that topic at some point in the future. But I did want to clarify that I personally do not see identifying a female officer in a title as inherently sexist or contributing to a patriarchal society. And I think that people who think that are purely being victim to the current social trends and dialogues that we're having in society. Anyway, so I'd love to hear your take on everything I just said, because you guys are the ones who matter anyway. Specifically, this 230 people who are here right now who show up every day and hang out when I do these live streams. So feel free to tell me I'm an idiot or you disagree or you know, whatever other opinion you might have about that. You're not going to change my mind, just to let you, so, you know, don't think that, but we are going to have but I am interested in hearing what you have to say about it. Darren, my man, $2. Lord have mercy. How you doing? I thought hurricane season was over. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. Gimoyne. Think about every male nurse that's ever gotten in the news. It says male nurse every single time. It's just novel. That's it. It's just novelty. What's up, Billy? Good to see you here, dude. Women arrest on feeling, men arrest on ego. I think there's a lot of truth to that, no doubt. Now, is that the end all be all logic for dictating who should and shouldn't be a member of police? No, but it is a legitimate, indisputable factor. I do disagree with you. I don't know about yet what yet, but I'll find out. I'm sure you will, dude. Oh, what's up, Saeed? It's always a pleasure to come on the stream to chat, but most of the time lurk on my phone and silent support. Well, hey, I appreciate silent support as much as I do loud support. Bond girl, a woman's take on this. That's what we need. My take, Mr. Lang, just so happens to be that I work out every day, and my 14-year-old son still kicks my butt and any weight. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. And that is another indisputable factor about females being police officers, is that most females could be physically dominated by a 14-year-old kid, you know? So that is just a reality of that whole scenario. That's what they do. You don't have trolls, there would be something wrong. Yeah, and I don't think he is necessarily trolling, but I do think that some people are so captured by the political discourse in our society that they can't divorce that even in subliminal ways. So I think that that's what's happening here, is that society has gotten so far gone on the political tribalism that people are just assuming this like normal mental state where politics influence nearly everything that they consume. And it's not like they are consciously doing that. It's just that when you think about something so often for so long, it becomes a part of who you are. And you start to have subconscious lenses through which you view things that you don't even realize is happening. And it's nearly impossible to divorce yourself from those biases, especially when you're not particularly conscious of them. More like John Loser. Yeah, you know me well. One man in Japan. I respect everyone's opinion. I don't think women should be police or in the military. Well, it's not that they shouldn't be police or in the military. They just shouldn't serve in combat or like direct patrol roles within the military or within the police. That's what I think. I just don't think that they should be out in the field in dangerous situations. And that there's a true disparity of the capabilities of a female officer and a male officer in the most critical moments of that job. Oh, wow. 100% agree, all the way from Poland. You don't even have to be American to understand the logic happening here. Just poking fun at the rest of the world. I appreciate your viewership from Poland. That's really fucking cool. Do you think a lack of respect for female authority is part of the problem? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe on a societal level, to some degree, that there is some lack of female authority, and that could be contributing in at least some way to how female police officers are perceived. But at the same time, I think that there is just a fundamental objective. There are fundamental objective realities about women in a patrol position that are undeniably difficult to get past. And again, I'll certainly qualify that statement a lot more in a future stream when I can have some time to sit down and really make a case for it. But to be honest, I don't have time to be preparing for fictional debates right now. So, oh, I always think about the video of the pregnant female officer fighting for the gun in the window, screaming, "Don't shoot me." I remember that video. And then her partner comes up and blasts the dude in the face. But that was a little different because I don't know if any officer would have been prepared for what happened there. But I could definitely find some videos where you could tell that if it had been a male officer, things probably would have went a different way. That's what I'm getting at. Hello from Indiana. How's it going, Amy? Thank you for joining us. Just my opinion on this, similar to applying law, women would have to be evaluated the same as men to do the work they do. That's a fair critique. I mean, that extends to a lot of broader issues that we've been talking about as a society when it comes to, diversity and equity. But I largely tend to agree with that sentiment. Bond Girl says, I'll say as a woman in a court setting years ago, I could get away with pushing back on egotistical judges and back down when needed, where my male coworkers, ... probably weren't so lucky. Yeah, that's true. Because just as much as there are a lot of disadvantages to being a female officer, there are equally a lot of advantages to being a female officer. And I think some of those are helpful, but I think what matters is, can you perform as well as a male in the most critical time that you need to perform? And would you be an equal asset to a male officer? That's the real question. Not can you do it? Not could it be done? But we need to ask ourselves, is it the most efficient, the most safe way to do it? Or, what are we doing? My daughter's going at the door right now. All right, let's jump into a video. We've talked about that enough. Like I said, we'll do a dedicated video for that momentary. Hold on one second. I'm going to go ahead and start this. This is the video we're going to be taking a look at today. I'm going to go ahead and start this video, and I'll come right back. Well, I don't know if that's even fair. I shouldn't start the video. If you guys want to wait for me just a second, I'll be right back. All right, my 2-year-old climbed up the stairs by herself. She's getting crazy. Sorry about that. Sorry if I wasted your 1 second. Never be a walkaway reaction channel. I know, that's why I didn't play the video, because I felt like that's not really fair to who uploaded this video. If I'm gonna watch it, I need to be actually fucking watching it. So I'm not gonna do that. I should have an ATA video just on cue for shit like that, but it is what it is. All right, so this video, let me get off full screen real quick here. This was from the Calhoun PD, and Life with Trey Money is the original uploader. But I found this video on BPcast channel. I didn't watch his coverage, and I didn't watch this. This bar is up here, but this is actually the screenshot that I used for the thumbnail for this live. I just clicked a random spot in the video, so I haven't seen this yet. Thank you, Michelle. Let me see if I got it. If you sent me another one. If this one doesn't come through, they got to be sending it to the spam folder or something like that. I don't know what. Hasn't came through yet. Well, I'll update you before the stream ends. that last ATA video made your blood boil. What's up, Domineer? Good to see you here again. So anyway, Calhoun cops. I don't know. I haven't watched any of this video. All I know is that BP Cast said that they went into this guy's house at some point in time. So it'll be, you've sent emails. Am I not getting emails from people? I check literally all of my emails. So if you've sent me an email and I either, or I don't know. I think you might be typing it in wrong, maybe. Not just Michelle, but Terry. Let me check the spam folder real quick. I don't see it here either. Okay, we'll figure that out. Calhoun, yeah, I think it is Calhoun, Georgia. You can see right here, it looks like it says GA on her badge. Yeah, the challenges of streaming and having a family are very real in my life. So, oh, before we go, what we got here? What's up, Hidden Blade? So great to see you live. Been watching you for about 3-ish years now. Great to catch you live and love you doing more you content. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm glad that some people appreciate my you content or my me content. And I'm probably going to lean into that a little bit more going forward on the channel. Probably at the cost of some viewership, to be honest, because you know, for someone like me, and I'm going to talk about this real quick and then we'll get in the video. For someone like me who has had a mostly faceless YouTube channel, I've only appeared on ATA maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times, if that. It's a little bit difficult to know like how much of the fandom is just about the show and how much of it is about me. And so this is nice. You know what I mean? Because it actually is not just stuck in ATA world. Like I like to branch out. You know, I'm a whole person that has other things going on. So, oh yeah, I do need to reply to you, One Man in Japan. No, I saw your email. The email you sent me last though was a screenshot of a link. How am I supposed to type that in? You know I'm too retarded to do shit like that. All right. So, sorry. I got on a bit of a tangent there. Once again, you are validated. And let's just get into this freaking video already. See what happens.
You know I don't have to though.
Not on my headphones.
Is you supervisor, sir? Yeah. So respectfully, sir, me and you both know. Well, you should know. I don't have to identify myself. Sir.
Yeah, you do. And we have every right to go in your house as a domestic. Okay, so stop your BS.
I haven't called for domestic, sir.
Okay, but somebody has. So we have every right to go in your house and check and see
So
if everything's all right.
Oh, hold on. Is he saying that just because someone calls in a domestic disturbance, they have the right to go in their house? Oh yeah, I should put that. I should put female cop in the title. That's hilarious. Barn Girl, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I like that chapter. He's a great content creator, but he does, you know, he's not there to tell the truth. He's there to tell a story. Where I kind of take the opposite approach. Yeah, but anyway, this cop is fucking nuts if he thinks that he can just barge into anyone's house because some random person calls in a domestic dispute. And we're 23 seconds in and we're already, you know, at crazy talk.
Call and say I heard them arguing.
So where is she at?
There's no one in my house, sir. I really don't. You can't call my house. Respect.
I'm going to go in your house. Okay.
So you might as well violate my right.
That's not violating your rights.
It is.
No, it's not. I don't need a search warrant to go in your house.
You did it.
Okay.
Anybody can call and say anything, sir. So you're gonna violate my rights and go in my house. You can't go in my house, sir.
Okay. He just said you can't go in his house. The thing is we need to know. We don't know a lot right now at all. So we need to know, did someone who actually lives in this house, call? Because it may be his house, but someone who lives there with him called, like his girlfriend, for example. We don't know who called. We don't know what information these officers are operating with. But the blanket statement that a random domestic disturbance can offer the officers just unfettered access to your property is crazy talk. That is not true. Now I'm sure there are some special exceptions tied to domestic disturbances, and there may be some statutorial, something specific in Georgia state law that ties some kind of right or authority to enter a home based on specific circumstances. But again, as a blanket statement, that's not true.
Department.
You can't go in my house, sir. Sir, respectfully, sir, you can't go in my house, sir.
Yeah, be quiet.
I don't want you to go in my house, sir.
I don't care what you want.
You don't have a warrant, sir.
Police department.
Wow. This is what y'all do.
Our jobs, yes.
It's no domestic violence, man.
Well, that's what we're here to determine. That's why we're here.
Again, like this, they're just painting out this circumstance where it's like they don't have any legitimate information. Why wouldn't you say, well, we got a call from someone in the house that says that they need our assistance, and so we're going to go in there. That they could probably demonstrate a pattern of facts that would allow that would give them probable cause or some type of exigency to get into the house. But it doesn't seem like that's what they're doing right now. But again, we don't have all the facts, so it's hard to say.
So you going off somebody's word? I'm telling you, the owner that lived in this house, I'm telling you, there's no domestic violence. And y'all just trampling all of my rights. So this is guard my word. This how it goes. I violate my rights, man. And the supervisor. Wow. It's the third time. Y'all it's like Calhoun don't care about civilians' rights. It's crazy. Y'all took an oath to protect and serve.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to.
The owner of this house, everything's good in this house. He just violated my rights by going in my house.
Here to determine again.
He just going in my house.
Stay here.
Watch me to plant something in my house.
You're gonna stay right here. His body cam on as well. You're gonna stay right here.
What's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all, man? This is crazy. Tell me I can't go in my house.
You're temporarily detained. You were detained right now.
For what?
While we conduct this investigation, you're detained. So
What y'all
you're not free to go.
Again, a detainment. Like, you got to have more than just someone calling. Okay? I feel like I say this every fucking stream, don't I? Just every stream. I'm talking about how investigate first, detain second. Just constantly talking about that. But again, we don't know if they have reasonable suspicion, probable cause, exigency. We don't know any of that. So I just don't know. It's hard to draw any conclusions right now. And I know I'm pausing this a lot, but a warrant or exigency is required. So yeah.
You're not free to
What
walk
I've been
away.
detained for?
Us to determine whether or not there's a domestic violence.
I told you was no. I told
okay,
you out my
well, that's
mouth.
what we're here to determine, and I'm not going to sit here and continue to argue with you.
But see, they're gonna detain me because they say I don't want to help y'all with y'all investigation. Respectfully, man, I don't want to help y'all with y'all investigation.
Hey, you're staying here.
They all in my house, man. This is crazy. What the fuck, man? Hey, what's going on, man? For real.
I told you.
Y'all can't go in my house like this, man.
You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down in a note real quick. I'm going to do a FOIA request for these body cameras. and probably the report too, just so I can figure out what they were talking about. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I have to take notes or else I'm going to forget all about this even happening. So at some point, you'll probably see this encounter on ATA because this is interesting. And I think that going into a house based on purely on a domestic dispute charge or allegation is questionable and is worthy of some more thorough research. So once I get that FOIA request back, I'll probably put this on ATA. Getting a sneak preview of an ATA episode right now.
I don't consent to no search warrant, man. Y'all know what's going.
We're not searching for you.
Y'all searching my house.
Female in here that you.
I told y'all want no female, sir.
Okay. Stop yelling. Why are you yelling?
Because y'all violate my rights. Y'all violate my rights, man. But you took an oath, right, to protect and serve, right?
Okay, and I'm
so why you letting them violate my rights like this?
Someone's possibly.
I told y'all wasn't nobody in here, sir.
Okay, well,
if y'all didn't believe me, y'all gotta go get a warrant and come back, then go in my house. Okay. But till then, y'all weren't supposed to go in my house. Y'all just violated my rights, man. And she's telling me I can't go in my house. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably planting anything. So why I can't go in my house? Y'all the ones got the guns and the tasers and things. I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing, sir. Y'all going in my house, man.
You have a gun on you at all?
Y'all going in my house, sir. Y'all on my property going in my house. Telling me I can't go in my house. Why these strangers in my, I don't know them. I don't know them from a can of paint. And they in my house.
I mean, I feel his frustration right now. I don't want random fucking people in my house either, especially if nothing is going on. And they're not telling him shit. They're just saying, we got a call. There's a domestic disturbance. He's like, there's nobody fucking here. What are you talking about? I mean, totally valid response. You know, of course, you always want to exercise your right to remain silent whenever you can. And that is the most prudent thing to do in almost every situation. But I I understand why he's so fucking pissed off. And I'd probably be feeling the same way.
What the fuck going on, man? Man, y'all got me, man. They got me pissed the fuck off so bad, boy. These people in my house telling me I can't go. I don't know what the fuck they doing in my house, man. Ooh, boy, I'm so mad, boy. The cat home police, boy, y'all, it's a lawsuit. But y'all,
that's a good piece of advice.
Oh, really? My cousin died from a police body cam went on. Man, come on, man. Y'all violated. I just violated my rights to the fullest. Y'all wrong for this, man. Then she talking about I can't go in my house. What? Ooh, wee. And then they threatened me with arrest. I had to show my ID. She threatened to arrest me if I don't provide my ID. They on my property. I didn't call them.
Well, that's an interesting part of this because we didn't catch that on the. See, this is why you need the body cameras, because there was an entire interaction that took place before he even started recording about whether or not he had to give up his ID. And I bet there were a lot more details exchanged about what was happening and why they were there during that conversation than when he started recording. And this is, like I said, this is why you need to get body camera footage if you plan on covering stuff like this, because it's easy to mischaracterize things when you don't know the full context.
Yeah, I don't want to help y'all with y'all. I don't want to help y'all with y'all investigation, sir. Y'all supposed to respect that, sir. But y'all violated my rights and made me provide ID, help them with their investigation. They made me do that, man. They tripping all on my rights. I know my rights, sir. Y'all just violated all my rights to the fullest in my house, telling me I can't go in my house.
I was a supervisor just walked in.
Right, he know better. He should know better. He took an oath to. Y'all put y'all right hands to the L, man, and promise y'all protect and serve, man. This ain't y'all ain't protecting me. Y'all violate my rights. I pay my tax dollars, man. It's crazy, man. What's your name and badge number, sir?
Phillips.
Badge number?
25.
Name and badge number.
Smith 41.
Where's she at?
Name and badge number, sir.
Booker Country. Where's she at?
I don't want to hit y'all. Okay, y'all done?
Hang tight. No, I'm not done.
Why?
Because we got a domestic call here, and we're going to figure out what's going on.
I don't want to hit y'all with that. Is she in there?
I don't care if you want to help us out.
I'm here at my home by myself, sir. Okay. Why y'all here?
You want me to call?
Okay, so at this point, they went into the house, and I guess they didn't find anyone, and now they're continuing to investigate the domestic dispute. I mean, at what point are they going to realize that they don't have what they need to be able to continue the investigation? If they've already went into this man's house, found that no one else was there, what's the motivation for continuing this investigation? Obviously, if no one's there, there's no complaining party. There's nothing further to investigate. But we'll see where what they decide to investigate next. I don't think there ever was a female, Thomas. I mean, I haven't seen one. Yeah, it's cover your ass mode now.
This is crazy, man.
Stay here. No, don't go over there.
I don't want him in my car.
He's not going to your car. He's going to his car.
Why is y'all still here?
Because we're not done.
What y'all need? What anything else y'all need?
Yeah, he's going to talk to who called, and we're going to figure out what was going on.
And I want to
see. Okay.
That call as well.
Why didn't you do that first? Why didn't you do that before detaining this guy, before breaking into his house, before all the bullshit, before demanding to see his ID? Why didn't you call the reporting party first? Why didn't you talk to them first? This is the part, this is the investigation part that you're just completely skipping in order to justify busting down this guy's door.
I want to forward your body cam, all that, man.
You can file an open records request.
Thank you. I know.
Okay.
We will, Smith. Thank you for the permission to do that. We will be sure to file a FOIA request for it.
Telling me I can't go in my house. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. Violate my rights like that. Oh, man. I ain't got to help y'all with y'all investigation. Y'all can come here all y'all want.
By the way, shout out to him for that. You know, they were like, where is she now? Blah, blah, blah. There is no way he could have answered that without sounding incriminating to them, at least in the moment, and likely sounding even more incriminating later in court. Saying, I'm not about to help you with your investigation. That's solid. That's what you should do.
Y'all ain't witness no domestic violence. If anybody else around whoever called, they didn't witness no domestic violence. Y'all don't supposed to be on my property going to my motherfucking house, man. Asking me what a girl at. Man, her mind my damn business. Y'all come messing on my property, messing with me. Man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Is there a reason I couldn't go in my house behind y'all?
Yeah, because we don't know what's in your house.
I don't know y'all. I don't know you.
Okay.
This is my house. I don't know you, ma'am.
Okay.
You shouldn't have went in my house without my permission. First of all, you didn't have a warrant.
We don't have to in this case.
Yes, you do, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, what are you talking? I know my rights, man. You can't go in my house without no warrant. I can call and say they had a miss.
She seems so frustrated by that, as if like it's not an upsetting thing for cops to barge into your fucking house without your permission. She's just acting like he's a piece of shit for being pissed off about this. And it's objectively speaking, that is untrue and unfair. Anytime an authority figure barges their way into your house, and especially if you feel like nothing happened and you've done everything you can to dispel their suspicions, I mean, there's no reason to be an asshole to this guy. If anything, you should be trying to calm him down. But she's being adversarial, hostile, condescending. This is how you make yourself look like an asshole.
About it right here. And we do the exact same thing. Right. You come to the house, investigate. You don't think I know what I'm doing, sir? You know just as well as she know, just as well as he know, y'all can't go in nobody's house without a warrant, sir. You can come all you want to investigate, and I don't have to help y'all with y'all investigation. Okay. Respectfully, I can decline. Okay. Hey, man, how you doing, ma'am? You a sergeant? What's State Patrol? State Patrol. Okay.
She's just here.
She's just here. So I'm lost now. I'm lost. I don't know what they went in my house without my permission. They checked this. They were looking for a girl. She not in. I told them wasn't nobody here but me, and they still went in my house without my permission. So I don't know what else they're investigating.
I hear you.
Well, they have PC to be here, so.
Huh?
They have PC to be here, which probably calls. So.
Right, probable cause. So that they came and investigated. Been in my house. No one here. Ain't no domestic violence. I don't know who called. I want to hear the call. I'm gonna forward the call. But it's for my knowledge, they shouldn't be here no more. They went in my house. I don't understand why they
So
still
now
here.
what he's doing, he's calling the original caller to see what in the world happened.
Right,
fully.
because I can call and
To
say
make
I see.
sure.
I can call and say anything, sir.
Exactly, and we would
You
respond
absolutely
the
can, and
exact
we're going to
same way.
investigate the exact
Right.
same way.
But y'all come and investigate.
Oh, you can just make false allegations whenever you want, and we're gonna show up to and bust into people's houses. Is what they're saying. They're saying that a call alone, and they'll come and break into their house. So I guess that you can just call up anyone, or call up the police in Calhoun, Georgia, and get them to raid anybody's house if you want.
Get it the right way. Don't force and violate people's rights. Go in people's houses, violate people's rights. Don't do that. Y'all know that. If you're sorry, I don't know what your status is, but you know that. They can't come and just call anybody's house due to someone calling the police.
I hear you. I just wasn't here for the initial. So what they saw, heard, anything like that, I wasn't here for.
Which I understand. And I respect them for calling. If people call the police, yes, I respect y'all for calling, for coming, I mean. But you come and investigate the right way. Y'all came, y'all ain't see no, y'all ain't see no, because it got to be two people for domestic violence. Y'all came in and ain't been nobody here. The woman that was supposed to be being beat, she didn't call, so I don't see what's the reason y'all still here trying to force.
How do you know she didn't call?
Trying to, huh?
How do you know she didn't call?
Because she will be here. Y'all be able to get the whole to it. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's not rocket science. If someone's been hurt, it's been domestic violence. It shouldn't take 4 people to find this girl, whoever called. I'm saying, tell you, I ain't no domestic violence.
I mean, he's picking it apart. He's picking it apart. He's saying all the right things, in my opinion. Domestic violence does require 2 people. And if there's not 2 people there, then what are they doing? Especially if what he's saying is true and it wasn't the victim who called. If some random person called just because they thought they heard domestic violence happening, that doesn't mean that it is happening. You still have to do an investigation to figure out if that's what's happening before you get granted any extra authority or any exigency or anything like that to proceed with breaking into someone's house without a warrant. So I got to give it to the guy. He's really picking this apart in a good way.
I'm minding my business. My dog's barking. What's going on? I look out, the police here. Y'all took an oath to protect and serve, but y'all coming back and just don't care. Y'all didn't really care what's going on. Y'all just instantly violating my rights.
So say you had a little sister that was in there that was possibly getting beat up by somebody. Would you want us to go in there and check on her, make sure she was okay?
If the owner of the house telling you no one's in there,
No.
if
You wouldn't want to make it. You want us to make sure that your
You
sister's
know how
okay.
often we get told what we think, what you think we want to hear?
you can't violate nobody's rights, man.
It's not violating anybody's rights.
It don't give you no right to violate no one's rights. No matter how bad y'all want to
So
uphold.
the female that we're talking about was your significant other, your sister, your mom was in this house. You wouldn't want us to go.
No matter how bad I want y'all to go in the owner house, y'all can't.
You
Y'all
wouldn't
can't.
want us to make sure she's okay.
I can
Yeah, look, this is a completely irrelevant question. Okay, has nothing to do with the legality of the officer's actions. Of course, if someone was hurting my family member, I would want you to stop them. But in that scenario, you would have the authority to do it. In this scenario, you don't. So there's a key difference there, and it's what makes this whole analogy irrelevant anyway. And it's that you would be operating under lawful authority to do one of those things and not the other. Okay. Irrelevant. Yeah. Street theater. That is such a good way to say it. Street theater. That's what this is.
want y'all, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? I can want, you can want whatever. You can't violate nobody's rights, sir.
Okay.
It's just this is how it is.
You already ran him.
Just like I didn't have to provide you my ID, so you on my privacy.
Yes,
I didn't call y'all. I didn't
So
call
you
y'all,
want to know
sir.
how that works or
I
why
didn't
that
call y'all.
works?
I didn't call
It
y'all.
doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
We have a lawful reason to be out here. We have probable cause to be out here
heard
based
something
on
or I saw something.
Yo, shout out to Hidden Blade. I know you said no rush to read this, but I'm going to read it right now anyway. Heading to sleep. Love your stuff. You're a great dude. Have yourself a blessed week. Right back at you, brother. Thank you for the €5 or yeah, I think that's euro. Much appreciated, man. I think that's probably more than $5 right now.
Mhm.
We're gonna go down there and do the same thing. We're gonna require you to identify yourself.
Yeah, the
And we
person-
asked you multiple
Pounds.
times to identify yourself,
Gotcha.
and you said I don't
Thank
have to. And at that point, we said there are repercussions for not identifying yourself. It is failing to identify yourself. It is obstructing our investigation because we have to know who we're dealing with.
Obstruction is a secondary crime, man. In order to take me to jail for obstruction, I have to commit a crime.
That's not true.
And then don't want to identify
That is
myself.
not,
Providing an ID would be part of that.
Ma'am.
Not providing an ID would be part of obstruction. So that's
Right, but I have to commit a crime in order to.
that's not true.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's
But
not.
It's okay.
Because
It's okay.
us being out here, it gives us probable cause.
Ma'am, I work in manufacturing work.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Let me think through this. So, in many states, Fred, what's up, brother? Appreciate the $10. Thank you, man. No message, huh? You know what I should do, but I'm not going to. Thank you, Fred. So, one of the things, or let's talk about this for a moment. They're saying here that you're obstructing because you're refusing to provide your ID. And that could be the case because in some states, especially stop and identify states, it generally, if they don't have a statute that explicitly outlaws failure to identify, then it's usually codified in some form or fashion in the obstruction or resisting statute. So it could be true that if these officers had reasonable suspicion to make contact with this individual, that he may be in violation of the Georgia's obstruction law if they had the reasonable suspicion to demand his ID. But if we're going on what I think is actually happening here, and we could be corrected, especially once we get the body camera footage in the report, it seems like they got a call from a third party who was not involved in this encounter, claiming that they may have heard something or saw something that would suggest a domestic disturbance may be happening. Now, we have, again, we need some kind of reliable corroboration of these claims before you can even establish reasonable suspicion. Just someone calling and saying something is not enough. There has to be something beyond that corroborates what this person says, or they have to be an extremely reliable source that can be made contact with, is willing to make a statement, to that effect. So what she's saying is not necessarily entirely flawed, but I don't think it's necessarily applicable to this particular interaction. I think that they're highly mischaracterizing what's actually going on here. It seems like that this is not that no one really knows what's going on.
Mhm.
Okay. Have you ever been a police officer in your life?
No, ma'am, but I studied this, and
Okay. When did you study it?
I've been studying this for years.
Where at?
This, I don't want to answer that. But
It's online.
no, I have
Been in
my
classes?
uncle's a lawyer. It's okay.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for a long time. We went to
Right.
schools,
Yeah.
college degrees,
And
some
you
of us.
and you know how many cops are just
I hear you, but
Mhm.
you got
Whoa, did she say some of us have college degrees? I'd be interested in knowing what percentage of police officers have college degrees. Because if you go to college and go the criminal justice route, and we have to exclude detectives, I'm talking about just patrol division officers, how many of those actually have a degree? I suspect that it's a very low number, because if you do have a criminal justice degree, you're not working in the patrol division. You are a detective. You are, some higher up capacity. So, and if you did go to college and you became a cop, I bet you're drowning in debt right now, bro. That is a terrible thing to do. You should never go to college for something that you don't require college to do. Fred says, just want to support you. Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. brother. Appreciate the $10. And we'll see you later, Hidden Blade. Good night, brother. I'd suspect that it's probably less than 5% of them have college degrees. And I bet that the ones that do have college degrees probably don't have a long career in law enforcement. It's more of like a, let me just work this job until I can get a job in my actual field kind of work.
For agencies telling you, hey, we do have probable cause ID. Listen, if you're walking down the road, I never got any call on you. Say you're just walking down the road, and I just walk up to you and I say, give me your ID. At that point, you don't have to provide it unless you're in the roadway and you're actually committing a crime, which is in the roadway. But if I just walked up to you, even if sitting at a gas station, give me your ID, that'd be a completely different story. I don't have any probable cause to be here. Nobody called on you. I just shut up. I said, hey, I want you to identify yourself. You can tell me no, but being that somebody called here and said, hey, I suspect this going on, we have to investigate it and check on it.
Y'all suspect something going on.
Again, it's we got a call. She really thinks that a phone call is the only thing they need to launch a full-scale invasion into your home. That's where we are with this. This is okay. Yeah. Thanks. Sequenced. He says, and Sequence is the mod for those of you who can't see the fucking wrench beside his name, but he says his younger brother is about to become a patrol officer with a criminal justice degree, but only to then move into detective work after gaining some experience. And that is the traditional route I'm not saying that I think I said it earlier, but what I mean is that generally people who have a degree and go into law enforcement are only doing that to pass through the ladder to get to a higher place in the law enforcement industry, whether that be, as a detective or eventually moving into a federal agency. I think that's a natural progression for people who go into criminal justice, is they eventually hope to end up in a place like the FBI or, any of the other federal law enforcement agencies, the DEA or, what have you. What's up, Liquid? But again, yeah, here we are with a cop who believes that just a phone call alone is enough to raid your home.
Right.
So y'all investigating, right?
So our typical reasonable suspicion would be.
Suspicion is not a crime.
So it's another version of PC. Does that make sense? So we've been called here, so we have to identify everybody who's talking to. That's it. If we were called here, it'd be different.
I understand.
If we were called here, so we have to identify every person we talk to, is just nonsense. That's nonsense. That's not how that works at all.
Y'all can talk to anybody. Y'all can go to the next door neighbor house and talk to them and ask them, did they see anything? They don't have to provide their ID.
Right. We didn't get called to their house. We got called to your house.
For sure now.
We got called for domestic.
It's no domestic, sir. Respectfully, it's no domestic, sir. You went in my house?
That's what we're being told. Okay. When we ask for your ID, you have to give it to us. All right.
I gave my name, sir. On the federal
I'm trying to
release.
explain it to you so you understand it a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
On a domestic, we have every right to go inside. We don't have to have a search warrant. That's called an exigent circumstance.
On the domestic, but on the
You can look it up.
And there he goes. He finally evoked something that we can actually critique, because he's been very shady about what is actually giving him the authority to go inside this guy's house. And now he's claiming that it's exigent circumstances. And we all know that's complete bullshit. Okay. A call alone it'd be so hard to establish exigent circumstances based on a call alone. You would have to have literal circumstances that are exigent. It's in the name. It's in the name of the doctrine. Okay. This officer would have to have direct knowledge or see for themselves, be a material witness in the exigency of those circumstances. Now, let me throw this disclaimer up. That's how exigent circumstances works. It doesn't just go off of, this random person said there was an emergency happening. No, you have to know for a fact that the emergency is happening and that there are, in fact, exigent circumstances. I wish that they would actually read the cases that established and further litigated exigent circumstances, because it paints a very clear picture of the kind of activities that would qualify under this doctrine. And it seems like that is just completely thrown out the window when they teach cops about exigent circumstances. And then somehow it gets twisted into this blanket excuse to go in anyone's house with very little evidence. That's exactly what we have going on right now.
Telling you,
Wanda, the reason we're viewing this as officers and courts are legitimate is because that's what we believe here. Please don't start with the sovereign citizen bullshit today, please. Oh,
that's no domestic, sir. It wasn't no domestic. People might not like me. Just want to say
This ain't
anything.
the first time this has happened.
Hmm?
This ain't the first time. We've had other people do the exact same thing you're doing.
What you mean?
I'm trying to explain.
It's not the first time a call been domestic. Is this?
I don't know. I'm saying in general.
So listen.
People acting like you are
So
right
listen.
now.
So listen. The Calhoun Police Department. I don't know what they got against me or whatever. They see my car by them. People they pull me up for anything.
Well, you got dark windows.
So right. Okay.
And
So
you're driving a Challenger. You know
so
that attracts it?
so it's
well, okay. Miro says if we don't know the contents of the call, we can't conclude anything, which is largely true, but there are some things that we can conclude, which is that there were no exigent circumstances here. It's because there was no one else in the house. What if this was based on a domestic disturbance and they arrived and he was the only person home? What exigency could have existed in that context to justify them going into his house? There was no one else there. There was no one screaming. There was no emergency taking place that involved this guy. So we can reasonably conclude that they did not have exigent circumstances in this situation.
in my mind, I'm thinking they must, they must mess with me. You know what I'm saying? So how do I know? Anybody, how I know y'all just coming here? I don't know what's going on. But I'm telling you, it's no domestic violence, and you just say, I don't care what you say.
Well, we have two other
and
people
y'all just been in my house. So who?
You don't
I'm
want
to
to
get. Okay, so I'm gonna get the call. I'm gonna get the call.
That's fine.
Wait, what did he say there? Hold on.
Do you know Noel?
I don't care what you say.
We have.
What's going on?
We don't.
But I'm telling you, it's no domestic violence, and you just say, I don't care what you say.
We have two other
and
people.
y'all just been in my house.
So they had two callers.
You don't
I'm
want
to
to
get.
me.
Okay, so I'm gonna get the call. I'm gonna get the call.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're more than. Do you know Noel?
Yes.
Was she here?
She's gone, sir.
Now. Was she here?
She's gone.
She's gone now. But
I just got here.
Was she here?
I just got here, sir.
What time?
I don't know what time.
Okay. But she was here.
Once I got here, went upstairs. My dog barked.
Let me tell you.
I love the way he's answering these questions because he's answering their questions without giving them the information they want, which is clever. All right. Because they're saying, was she here? He's saying, I wasn't here. So he's telling them things that would not incriminate him, but would also not give them the information that they want by still giving them a legitimate answer. Very clever way of walking through this dialogue.
You're very, very lucky that she don't want to talk to the police.
Why is that?
Because I think there was a domestic.
She don't have to talk to the police. We don't have to talk to nobody.
Exactly.
But y'all sitting here making me talk to y'all. I don't want to talk respectfully, sir. I don't.
So this whole time, the supposed victim doesn't even want to talk. Oh, is he in the chat? Where you at? Hold on, let me it was Life with Trey Money. Where you at, dude? Are you in here? Yeah, I see you now. I'm suing them, y'all. I didn't even know you was reviewing my video. Thanks, brother. Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. If you're fucking suing them, I was actually I'm gonna request the body camera footage for this too, and hopefully do a full episode on my main channel, which I don't know if you're familiar with my content and my work, but hopefully that'll get a lot more eyes on it. I'm glad to know you're suing them. If you, dude, email me, man. I'd be happy to have a discussion with you and hopefully get some more information about this whole interaction from you. But yeah, again, dude, props for how you're keep walking through this cop's bullshit logic right now. You did a great job at talking, at engaging in a dialogue with them. of course, you know, I would definitely say that use your right to remain silent whenever you can, but I appreciate the fact that you're handling their ass in this for sure. Yo, shout out to Nanyan. Thanks for leaving the videos up. Haven't been able to show up to the stream, sue the internet more. Yeah, I've made the executive decision to just start leaving the streams up at all times, just in case, or unless I accidentally dox myself or something like that. I did take a couple of them down because I accidentally showed my location, and you guys didn't notice, thankfully. But those are gone forever. We'll never see those. So from this moving forward, I am gonna just leave them up. You guys can watch them if you want to later. But yeah, shout out to Trey Money, doing God's work out here.
I want to talk to y'all.
I'm not making you talk.
And respectfully, you're supposed to get off my property once I say this because I didn't call the cops.
Yeah, when our investigation's over, yes, we will. Okay.
You're
lucky.
Wanda, did you just go get on a different account to say that? Oh, guys, don't mod, don't remove this person. It's okay if they want to say dumbass shit.
You're lucky
Your
that she didn't want to
investigation.
talk.
Your
All right.
investigate.
My investigation here, you got everything you need.
But you
Don't
got, you
scare
know,
me
you
like
got it in
that.
rights by going to my house, right?
I just explained it to you. If you can't
got it in my
comprehend,
rights.
if you
It's
can't
okay.
comprehend the exigent
I'm gonna-
circumstance,
it's
maybe
okay.
you need to get
It's
a lawyer
okay,
and
sir.
figure that
There's
out.
gonna be complaints against all y'all, man. And
Oh, that's
you,
fine.
you know what you did. You're wrong. You're wrong,
Tim
sir.
McDaniel station, or that's where you
Oh
filed.
yeah, for sure. Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Do you want this? It's going to be a report.
Yes, yes.
It's gonna be
Thank
a
you.
report number
Yes,
down the
sir.
bottom, okay. So you're saying today
I need
nothing
that
happened
card.
today.
I don't want to talk, sir. I don't want to talk.
All right, thank you, sir.
Trey,
Have a great day, y'all.
Trey, send me a copy of that, or send me a picture of that card he gave you, dude. That will help me out a lot. If I could have the report number, that would be awesome. It'll save me some time for my FOIA requests.
A walk of shame.
If you want a copy of that, it'll be
A walk of shame.
It'll be at the
Get out my
Tim McDaniel
property.
station.
Get off my property. A walk of shame.
Hell yeah, tell.
And the sergeant right there, he just don't know nothing. Sue him. Here it is.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Life with Trey Money. That was an interesting encounter, and I definitely think that having the body camera footage and the report would add a lot of context to that, and we could really drive home whether or not they had exigent circumstances in that moment. I'm, just seeing what I saw, I highly doubt that they did. But again, we just don't have all the information. We don't know what it was like when they got there, which I think is going to be the biggest element of establishing exigent circumstances. So if they got there and they didn't have some kind of reason to believe that some kind of emergency that required their immediate attention was taking place, then I doubt that this was a lawful breach of this man's home. Was very likely a Fourth Amendment claim. But again, we'll see once I get my hands on the body camera footage. We'll see how it goes. Is Trey still here? If he is, I'd be interested to know if he filed a complaint. And if not, you should do it. Go file a complaint if you haven't already. Go to the department. You've got all these officers' names. I would even file a complaint on the state police officer that came up as well. I mean, they're all part of this, so don't leave anyone out. So that was a good interaction. That was actually way more interesting than I thought it was going to be, to be honest, just based on the way it was framed. Yeah. Oh, yes. I should say that. Do the FOIA request before you do the complaint, because if they launch an internal affairs investigation, they're going to withhold the body camera footage until they complete that investigation. So, yeah, you're right. Eye of the night. Good Good thing you pointed that out. Very good. Thank you for doing that. You're right. File your FOIA request first, then file your complaint. He's here. He said he would email me. Okay. Yeah, please do. Please do. I'd be happy to talk to you about it, man. You can find my email address pretty easily. All right. So someone said this earlier. Here, I'll post it right here for you, bro. Copy and paste this. Okay. Don't try to type it out. Yeah, just copy and paste it. And I'll pin it right here so it don't go anywhere. Shoot me an email, dude, and we'll hop on the phone and talk about it, man. And I can help you file your FOIA request. And actually, we can just do it at the same time if you haven't already done one. If I'll just file the FOIA request for you, and I'll just give you the footage that I get, and then we'll do an episode of ATA on it. It's so crazy how many times that has happened now, where we're watching a police interaction and the person who's involved in the interaction comes to the chat. Isn't that wild? I just think that there's some kind of synchronicity going on there. I didn't think, surely John Lang, this channel is not popular enough for that to happen as consistently as it has. But it's very interesting that they keep popping up in the chat. You're right, Thomas. They need our help. And maybe that's just some kind of universal karma in, working its way here. But it's good to know that that's happening. I would love to see that continue, because it's a lot easier for it to happen this way than for me to spend hours or days trying to track down these people. So it'd be great if we could create an environment where people know that they can come here and get some kind of help with stuff like this. So citizen justice, that's right. Popular among the people that matter. I suppose that's true. I'm glad that you ended up here, Trey, and I'm looking forward to your email, man. We'll get this. We'll get that body camera footage, if nothing else. So somebody mentioned this earlier in the chat. What is a privilege? What is a privilege? That's a good question. A privilege, I think, is something that you have a limited right to, or an entitlement. That's what I was trying to say. A privilege is something you have a limited entitlement to. And I think, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, actually. Like, what is a right? What is a right? And where do they come from? And I think that rights, I think that there's a lot of different ways to view this, first of all. And many of them are equally valid. Some people think that rights are entitlements without duties. I've heard that characterization, which is a legitimate, logical reductionist way of looking at a right. But then the thing about rights is, like, everyone derives their idea of where rights come from almost an entirely different place. So, like, if you ask someone who's religious, where do your rights come from? They're going to say God, right? If you ask someone who's non-religious, where do your rights come from? They say, from there's many different ways to define it without God, but one of the prevailing thoughts is that it's that everyone has an inherent rights, and that we have a social contract that people implicitly derive rights from. Yeah, okay. Well, let me go to the chat, because it'd be interesting to hear you guys' thoughts on this. A right is an entitlement that is guaranteed and cannot be legally taken away, while a privilege is a special advantage or opportunity that can be granted or revoked, per Google AI. So a right is an entitlement that is guaranteed. But see, like, where does the entitlement come from? Who assigns the value of that entitlement and what the entitlements actually apply to. That's the real question, I think, at the meat of the philosophical debate about rights, is that, yeah, we know what they are, but where do they come from is the question. Moke says, privilege is a special benefit, right, or advantage granted to a person or group because of position or wealth. The word comes from the Latin word privilegium, privilegium, privilegium. That's got to be what it is, privilegium, which means law for one person. Interesting. What do you got to say, Bond Girl? Right is a basic life standard. We're gifted upon birth. Another person can take a right by might or by force, but no person can give a right. Well, then where does it come from? Like where is it gifted from is the question. Where does the right, who gifts the right? Yes, this is many people's default, which is God-given rights. And then the counter to that would be the natural rights, which come from a shared morality. So then we're saying that morality dictates rights. So how can there be human rights when morality is so vastly different? Is it just that the rights come from the convergence of morality, of social morality? So I guess that makes sense. But what if we strip away the legal concept from this? I ate all the gummy bears. Yeah, see, this is why I don't dive too far into the philosophical stuff, because like I really go pretty deep on it, and it never ends. It's a social contract. We accept it, or at least most of us do. See, is it a social contract or is it a divine contract? I think that's really the binary logistical debate to be had there. Only our shared understanding of morality gives us reliable rights. But that's the thing, is that we don't have a shared understanding of morality. We have overlapping concepts of morality, but how we operate our everyday lives based on our moral compass is very different from person to person, and especially from society to society. But yet we all seem to agree on some fundamental rights around the world. And it just makes me wonder, well, who's the arbiter and the dictator of which of those rights are the right rights? Ms. Lorraine, I think you got it right. We don't have rights. Let's see. Damn Spark says the concept of natural rights is rooted in natural law theory, which posits certain rights are inherent to human beings by virtue of their nature and can be discerned through reason. So I would like to see the discernment of reason behind that, though. So a virtue of nature is not rights. There's no other system in the natural order of law or the natural order of existence that qualifies rights or even acknowledges them in any way. So really, rights are conceptual and they're made up by people. That's ultimately, I think, a fundamental truth that we can accept about the concept of rights, is that they are made up by people. Guardian Bob says rights are a shared delusion depending on the society you're a part of. They are gifted by government. Not all governments value the same rights, even basic human rights. Look at North Korea or Gaza. I agree with some of that. I do think that rights are a shared delusion. And I think that that's a fair characterization of what they are from an objective standpoint. But I don't agree that they're gifted by the government, because that is not how rights operate under the framework of law. Even in America, I talked about this a little bit on the last stream, but the Constitution doesn't grant you your rights. It protects the rights you already have. That's the idea. Is the Constitution is the document that preserves your rights and keeps the government from being able to violate them in any capacity. So it's not that the government never gives you rights. It just recognizes and protects certain ones through doctrine, which again goes back to it all just being kind of a delusion. Anyway, let's start. Yeah, you know what, Terrell, you're right. This is actually what I was going to go for, right? Or what I was going to bring up next. And I think it was you who said something about it. So I have that video right here pulled up. And I want to check it out because I've not seen any footage of what happened to James during the arrests. And I think Lackluster is probably going to be giving us a full scale walk down of what actually is going on. Maybe we should start a philosophical Tuesdays or something, guys. I mean, it seems like that you guys enjoy this dialogue, so maybe we'll do a theme every now and then, and we'll just go deep into thinking about the philosophical underpinnings of law enforcement and how that works. I think that's probably worthy of a dedicated stream. So we'll do that at some point in the future. But for now, let's check out this Lackluster video covering James Freeman's apparent arrest. It said the title of this video is "The Chief of Police Attacks James Freeman." So hopefully we'll see some actual footage of this. And I think Terrell said when we would, but let's check it out.
Move!
You guys remember this. This is the Aiken family. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this woman and her husband, who you're about to see, had their rights pretty clearly violated by the Sarita Police Department. They broke into their home over almost the same scenario that we just watched. A random report of a domestic dispute that turned out to be fucking bullshit. Yo, Dennis, my man. Thank you. $20, brother. PF Dennis. Did you ever start your restaurant, dude? Because I'm coming. You let me know when you got that shit up and running. But yeah, we covered this on ATA. And James Freeman was actually the one who supplied the footage for us to cover it.
We just needed to talk to your wife.
He's not just a bad chief. He's not just a bad leader. He's a bad man.
Where do you want it?
For what? Step out of my chief. No. Chief, what the hell are you doing?
Welcome back.
Ah, there we go. We saw it finally. This is the first time I'm seeing what actually physically happened. I've heard all the descriptions. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. If I remember right, James said he was going to be publishing the footage today. So maybe this is his way of publishing it. I don't know. We'll check his channel after we watch this.
To the Lackluster channel. As most of you may have heard, James Freeman was arrested in early August. But what you may not know is how it happened. Today we take a look at the events leading up to the moment of his arrest, the arrest itself, and what happens next.
Chief, what the hell are you doing?
The story traces back to 2023, but before we rewind that far, let's take a look at the key video James released just a few months ago, the one that may have sparked the chief's resentment toward him. It begins with Sahuarita Police Chief John Noland speaking to the city council to pass a new statute.
The primary goal behind this for me is safety. Medians are not pedestrian friendly. They're not designed to be walked on, whether they're painted or they are raised. Some of these medians have cacti, plants, trees, some that are not user friendly. If you run into them, walk into them, stumble upon them.
Starts out explaining to the mayor and council what this ordinance does, but he never really explains it. It makes it illegal to stand in medians. And he says it's because of safety. There's trees, cactus, they're uneven. Like nobody could possibly traverse one of these medians without certain serious injury or death, which I have to admit I thought was ridiculous until I personally tried traversing one of these medians. It's easier said than done.
It's really not an
Yeah, shout out to James, man. He has a great sense of humor. He's so funny.
anti-panhandling ordinance. That would be inappropriate. That's illegal. What it does emphasize is getting them off of center medians.
So he says that it's an ordinance to keep pedestrians off the medians. He says it's not an anti-panhandling ordinance. And then he goes on to say, these are the anti-panhandling signs that go along with the ordinance that is not an anti-panhandling ordinance. It's only to keep pedestrians off of medians. There's quite a bit of people that go into the medians for different reasons. And you'll see in a minute here that town officials even admit to fairly regularly going into the medians. And they ask, well, will I be held accountable to this law?
Chief Nolan, does this apply to the wonderful cleanup crew volunteers that we have in our town for cleaning up, being on the medians to clean up litter?
No, it could theoretically be enforced without or beyond the intent of the law. So I would enact a policy on how this is supposed to be applied.
Yeah, I was going to ask something similar because, I don't like weeds in our median. So if the mayor happened to be in a median pulling some weeds, which I have done before, I will not get arrested.
No, you will not be, Mr.
Okay,
Mayor.
thank you.
But John Garcia was mentioned.
Okay. It's pretty clear to me that this is very much against panhandling. I don't see any other way to interpret what's going on here. What's up, Simpy? What's up? Just wanted to be left alone. Good to have you back, dude. Oh, this is interesting. Dallas was sued over a nearly identical ordinance, and the federal judge declined to bar it from taking effect. It's an anti-panhandling ordinance. Yeah. So wait, the judge declined to bar it from taking effect? That's interesting. Did they appeal that? Because it seems pretty clear that that there would be certainly grounds for appeal on something like that. Because I just can't think of any other way that would characterize this law. I mean, look, which I get it. I do understand that there are certain safety precautions that every city should probably do. But I think it's kind of getting out of control when you're just policing the way adults behave. Making it illegal to walk through a median is just wildly uncalled for. No one needs that. That is not a necessary law. And when when a law is being drafted that is unnecessary, that there's another intention behind that law, that's the reality of what this law is trying to do is not what it's saying on its face. And that's obviously what's happening here.
Mentioned earlier, I see the man out there all the time working. Now he's got the truck with the yellow lights, but occasionally a branch will grow out and you will see me out there trying to take care of the branch so it doesn't interfere with the travel of a car.
Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Chief.
What's up, Kyle? Thank you for joining us. I find it troubling that no one in the city had any legitimate concerns about the implications of a law like that and how it could potentially be abused. And I feel like that's one of the questions that should be asked whenever a new ordinance is being put into place. How could this be abused? How can we limit that abuse? And is there a better, more effective way of accomplishing the same goal without necessarily doing legislation about it? It seems like that's never even considered. Is that, do we need a law about this thing? Or is there some other way that we could potentially discourage this behavior or do literally any other thing besides making it illegal? That should be more on the table for city councils across the fucking country.
So these people just took turns going around the room and articulating why
Hold
they
on.
don't.
The judge said that it satisfied the time, place, and manner restrictions on speech. I don't know if it's being appealed to the Fifth Circuit or Supreme Court. Can't find an article saying that it has been. Yeah, I mean, good luck getting a report on any higher case law or an article written about it. I feel like I was one of the only journalists in the country talking about this shit before I started the YouTube channel. But I think that that's a big stretch to say that this falls under time, place, and manner restrictions, especially considering that it's a clearly public place that people have been using to demonstrate for a long time. We've covered this before on ATA about the nature of medians and the fact that they're public.
Think that this law should apply to them, that this law is not good enough for them, that this law shouldn't be enforced on them. And that should have been a sign to all of them right then and there. If it's not good enough, if this law shouldn't be applied to me, or it shouldn't be applied to you, it shouldn't be applied to anybody. I think that something people might find surprising here is how well John Noland articulates that he knows and has studied and understands the law on this, and that there are certain things that legally he can and cannot do. And then he proceeds to talk about how he's going to do it anyways, but here's the roundabout way in which he's going to do it while trying to pretend like that's not what he's doing.
Yeah, I was picking up that characterization too. I'm glad he pointed that out, because he did say, and I'm not going to rewind it because I would never get back to where we are, but he did say that, didn't he? That he'd been studying this for a while. I think he said 3 years or something like that he'd been looking into this problem, and this was his ultimate solution after all of that, was to just come up with a way to circumvent what we traditionally accept as free expression, to create a city ordinance about it. I mean, genius plan there, buddy. I'm glad you put so much thought into it.
James immediately began filming as he tested the new ordinance.
I appreciate it, but I'm just trying to piss them off with their no soliciting ordinances here. I am just going to go over here and pick this weed out of the median. People say that I was baiting the police that day, and they are absolutely right. I was baiting the police the same way that police bait car thieves. If you're not a car thief, you don't take the bait car. Hey, is there an ordinance saying that people can't?
Yeah, that's perfect logic there. That is so good and funny. And hell yeah, what's to stop someone who is panhandling from just saying that they were picking weeds out of the fucking median? I mean, you're already clearly on camera doing that, saying that we're not going to enforce this if you're just picking weeds, or if you're a normal citizen using the median traditionally, is basically what he said. Well, what's going to stop literally anyone else from saying that exact same fucking thing? And I'm glad that James is literally demonstrating that point here.
Can't be in the median?
So in the median, I believe so.
Oh.
Kind of like on the sides of the intersection or crossing during the walk sign. Nothing like that. But in the median, I believe there is.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't stand directly in the middle in the median.
Okay.
Like the sides of the road are good.
All right.
Just not interrupt the flow of traffic and stuff like that. Nothing, not a big deal.
But I can't just stand in the median with my sign?
No, not in the median.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was there for like 10 minutes just now.
No.
I actually do.
Okay. Yeah, I was there. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no
he just gave that cop all the weeds that he picked up out of the median. that's funny.
You know what? Can I keep it in case I find some more?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it all right? Because I'm gonna go through all the medians and pick up all the trash I can find in them.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think that a lot of people appreciate the horrible situation that Chief Noland puts his officers in with something like this. From what he told his officers, you're not to enforce this on person A, B, or C, and you are to enforce it on person C. And every cop has got to know that that's wrong, right? I think. I think that most of them probably know that it's wrong.
I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not about them knowing that it's wrong. Because honestly, I don't think that morality plays much of a role in an officer's decision making most of the time. I don't think that they even consider right and wrong or whether or not, what they're doing is good, you know? Well, the thing is why I'm questioning whether or not he's being sarcastic is because this is like equally an offensive statement, whether they know it or not, So like, if he's making the case that Nolan is a terrible chief and he's legitimately putting his police officers in extremely taxing and difficult situations, then this would be something you would say. But again, if he's being sarcastic, I think it says more about the officers than it does the chief, which is why I question whether or not this is actual sarcasm. I think it may be just like meta sarcastic, where it's like you could take it either way. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it is a similar point to what he's making, which is that I don't think that morality or ethical decisions ever come into play. It's merely a matter of protocol whenever they're interacting with citizens. And I think that that's how they justify some of the egregious behavior that we see, is it all being a matter of protocol and authorization. And authority. It has nothing to do with morality in their mind.
But the option then becomes, are you going to do what your boss told you to do that you know is wrong? Or are you going to lose your job? People say, there's only a few bad cops. It's just a few bad apples. Well, when the bad apple is at the top of the food chain, your option is either to do what the bad apple says, go along with the bad apple and be a bad apple, or lose your job. And that is the situation that Sarita police officers are in every single day. Chief Noland is a bad apple, and it's an unfair situation that they are put in because...
Sorry, guys. The sad music that's playing behind this is making me laugh. It's kind of funny.
So many people in our society, even though they're willing to admit there's one or two bad apples, refuse to get rid of the bad apple. Not only that, but they promote them to the very top so that they're in charge of all the good apples. The only appropriate response to Chief Nolan's address in City Council on September 25th, 2023. Are you stupid? Do you think that we're all stupid? Are you just here to waste everyone's time? Do you not have a job or a family or something better that you could be doing with your life?
That video...
I couldn't agree more with that, dude. Like, as a police chief, do you really think that making medians safer, if that really was your intent, which obviously it fucking wasn't, is going to add to your legacy as a police chief? Like, dude, there are so many more productive things you could do with your time than spending 3 years learning how to write an unconstitutional law. There's your legacy, buddy. I mean, Jesus.
Video is rumored to be the driving force behind Chief John Nolan's alleged grudge against James, but it still doesn't explain why James was at the police department in August of 2025. Now we can rewind to April of 2023, when Chief Nolan's department received a 911 call reporting a loud domestic disturbance at a neighboring home.
Sheriff's Department, how may I help you?
All right, so this is getting into the Akins family's interaction, which I think we've all seen here. So I'm going to try to skip through this part because I'm not trying to. I've watched this body camera footage for hours. I edited this video and it was a fucking pain in the ass. There was a lot of different body camera angles. It was a lot. So we're just going to skip past this part and get to the part that we're actually looking for here. So I want to get to that summaries.
Lawsuit against the town. In May of 2025,
I
James
did cover
released
it.
his video about
Just so everyone knows, I did cover that whole interaction we just skipped on ATA. If you want to go check it out, Mod, could you link that episode in the chat for everyone? So in case you haven't seen it, my coverage, it's up there on ATA. You can go watch it. Let me know
the medians
finding that video.
in June, the piece on the Aikens family, which brings us to August of 2025. Under Rule 30 of the Arizona Rules of Civil Procedure, parties in a lawsuit have the right to record depositions. The Aikens were set to question several officers, and the depositions were scheduled for town hall. But at the last
I got your email, Michelle. I got it. We're good to go. We're in business now.
minute, the department pulled a switch, moving them next door into the heart of the police headquarters, inside a restricted area where public cameras are typically forbidden. When James Freeman arrived to document the proceedings, town attorney Jim Jellison personally blocked him from stepping inside the conference room, despite having already agreed to allow video recording. They wouldn't even let him through the door to set up his equipment before leaving. It was a move that felt less like logistics and more like an intentional wall to keep the public from seeing what was about to happen.
Now, this is interesting because, again, the procedural aspects of law are something that I'm a little bit weaker on, and that I almost always have to go and like do specific research about. So I'm not sure what the I'd have to do some research about the rules surrounding depositions and whether or not just anyone can come in and record them. I'm wondering if, and I'm sure that that's dictated on a state by state basis. So again, this is one of those things where it would require specific research to figure out if what this guy's doing here is actually legit or not. I really don't know.
Behind closed doors.
This isn't a public area, sir. I mean, you probably know that if you're in a public area in a government building, you have the absolute right to film.
Look, man,
and
just stop talking.
You must know.
Just stop talking. Oh, I know.
But this, sir.
That camera rig right there, I just want to say, because we caught a glimpse of him getting thrown down to the ground. And I remember when I called about this and talked to some of the people that were, with James at the time, that they said something about his camera being broken. As someone who's worked with cameras for a long time, I can tell you right now that this camera setup is easily $3,500 at a minimum, and probably realistically closer to like $5,500. So this is an expensive setup that he's holding right here. And I think he went down with it in his hand. So I just want to give people the context that this right here, not only is it super expensive, but it's literally this guy's livelihood. It's James's livelihood. So if that gets destroyed or broken in the course of this, that'll add an interesting element to all of that.
I know that you've been bullying people too, which is why it needs to be public area. No, that's okay though. They can bring a camera in there.
Okay, you dropped your pen. Do you need help picking it up?
I do. My hands are full.
Could you back away a little bit?
Sure, man. Go ahead and get down there. Go ahead. Yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you.
Did you get enough filming? Do you have any questions?
We're gonna set up. We're gonna set up a better camera.
So he wants you to set my camera up in there rather than me.
But we're gonna help you, just like we did before.
And then we'll leave before you start the proceeding.
Okay. Mr. Aiken's been filming the whole deposition.
Okay, so I will say that I believe that this attorney is probably right on the face about the area that they're attempting to go in and film being off limits and them not actually having a First Amendment right to be in there. But then they're reaching the compromise now that, well, they're just going to set up the camera equipment. And in that capacity, it's really Mr. Aiken who is taking the recording. That's who this recording is for. And I'm pretty sure he has every right to record this deposition. So, yeah, I don't know what the dispute is about them just simply coming in to set up the equipment for him. But, again, he probably is right about who can and cannot enter this specific room. But he said something at the beginning of this about them changing the venue for this deposition, probably because of this very reason. So it'd be, again, that this falls back to the rules about recording depositions and whether or not they changed the venue on purpose. A lot of unknowns with this right now.
And this is a better camera. We really need it for what's
Yeah, you don't
going on.
talk loud enough. It looks more fancy.
We might even add some microphones.
You said he could take it in and set it up.
Are you getting in our way to set this up?
What's that?
Are you getting in our way to set this up?
You want me to
You
come
got
in and
my
set up
wife's
this
way.
camera?
What's that?
Are you on camera denying us?
Get out of my wife's way. Thank you. Come on, baby.
I won't walk
You're blocking You're blocking the doorway from her. She's clearly the same.
You're not, sir, you're not coming.
Why? I'm trying to help her.
Okay, please. What I'd like to do is call.
Can you please move?
Is to talk to the people that own this building.
we're
and
gonna-
ask them
I own it.
whether or not.
I own it.
You
Can you?
don't.
So okay. Does he know if this is a restricted area or not? Because now he's backpedaling and saying that he wants to contact someone who's the owner of this building to figure out whether or not they can be in there when he was just saying this is a restricted area. So is it or not?
Stop being ridiculous and let me set up so I can go. We could have already been set up. It takes me 3 seconds to put this on a tripod and walk out.
Listen,
Can you stop being ridiculous?
no, you can't, because again,
I don't know why not.
Mr. Aiken, I asked you, I brought this to your attention before.
Yeah, we discussed it.
And I've asked you, show me where you've given me the Rule 30 notice that you were going to do this. I haven't seen it. okay?
Why would you?
And sir, you don't have it.
Why would you be concerned about it
And
being
your
documented?
description of Rule 30 is incorrect.
Why would you be
That's
concerned
fine.
about?
Yeah, that's the
people
problem I'm having. This is a government entity that I'm suing.
The rule talks about it.
Are you?
Do we need to look up? Can someone link Rule 30 for me? Let's check it out. Because it'd be interesting to see what it actually says. I mean, I don't know how. Wait, didn't they show it earlier in the video? We're at 3252. Rule 30. Oh, here it is, right here. We're not Rule 34, guys. Not Rule 34. Rule 30. Not that one. Okay, so it says, subsection 1 here says, unless all parties agree or the court orders otherwise, a party who wants to depose a person by oral questions must serve written notice to every other party at least 10 days before the date of the deposition. The notice must state the date, time, and place of the deposition, and if known, the deponent's name and address. So this is just talking about how they didn't notify him with 10 days notice that they were changing the venue of where this deposition was taking place. I'm wondering it doesn't point out anything here about specifically recording, but I'm wondering if he's referencing this. Oh, section 3 covers recording. A party may depose and no, it doesn't. What are you talking about? See if somebody can just link that. That'd make it way easier. We were at 3252, right?
It's a government entity that I'm suing.
The rule talks about it.
Are you recording?
Hey, I'm sorry, miss,
Nobody cares about.
She's busy.
I need an assistant to put these off.
Wow.
Probably 6 of them. at least, minimum.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, no, ma'am, my wife belongs in here and I belong in here.
And his camera.
Keep your fucking hands to yourself, or we're really gonna have
They've been
problems.
Yeah,
aggressive
here.
with me.
You don't touch people.
Okay, maybe we can do
I'm
this.
sorry, Mr. Aiken just grabbed me and I didn't.
No, I kept you from bumping into my wife. That was clear. And I have it on my list.
So is now this attorney trying to claim that Mr. Aiken moving him out of his wife's way when he was blocking the door to a place that they are lawfully permitted to be? That's pretty critical in his case to get this deposition done. You were blocking the doorway. He moved you out of the way because you refused to do so yourself. And now you're claiming he assaulted you or something? Come on, dude. This city attorney's acting like a child.
Hey, real quick.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, she's gonna
I
need to
happen
sit
to know
down.
for a fact.
You think I have my way?
Move, man. You're
Sure.
blocking the doorway. Ask me to.
What do you want? Where do you want to sit?
It's a mystery.
Jesus,
Well,
please,
okay.
can we just carry on?
When he moves,
Hey, can you help me out with this? My hands are so full.
Yeah. I mean, that's something.
want to help him?
This guy was blocking the door. I can't bring him down. 6 cops minimum, probably.
I think.
You feel like a big guy?
It shouldn't really require any police officer.
No, it
It shouldn't.
Right, it
Or
shouldn't.
you to simply be told you're not a rat. Can we set that up on the?
Where do you want it?
Or what? Step out. Or what, chief? No.
Chief, what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me?
Okay. All right. Let's watch that one more time.
Can we set that up on the?
Where do you want it?
Or what? Step out. Or what, chief? No.
Chief,
Now, this is going to be an interesting dissection of this use of force. Yeah, he didn't say a word. He said, get out of the door, and then he just went straight to attacking him. He didn't try to reason with him. He didn't try to understand the situation. He didn't, as far as I'm concerned, at least from this point, you know, when the officers arrive, he's not doing anything illegal. He's standing in a public hall.
Where do you
I don't see any signs or anything preventing him from being where he's being. Now they are asking to just close the door. James asked for what while still not allowing him to close the door. I don't know. I don't think that the chief had the, hold on. Let me throw this up here. I'm not convinced that the chief had the lawful authority to do that, because I don't think that anyone had any reason to believe that anything criminal was happening here. And in order for the chief here to be able to go hands-on with James, there's got to be some criminal element. You can't just issue orders that you don't have the lawful authority to do. And I'm wondering, where did the lawful authority to even move James away from the door come from? I'm guessing that by reaching, you could potentially claim that it was disorderly, maybe. I'm trying to view this from the prosecution's perspective, as far as like what a criminal, if there were criminal charges to come of this, what would they have been? And the only thing I can point to is disorderly for not obeying the order to move out of the door. But then again, you gotta wonder where the authority to move him from that door even came from. It seemed to me like he had, you know, we haven't looked at Rule 30, but it seemed to me like he had a reason to be there and the permission of the party involved to be there. Yeah, this would require pretty deep dissection, but not really now, because they dropped the charges. We know that. So again, totally uncalled for use of force, like unnecessary, if nothing else.
Where do you want it?
Or what? Step out. Or what, chief? No.
Chief, what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me?
Oh. Oh, that camera hitting the ground was brutal. That was an expensive drop.
Chief, what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me? Chief, are you kidding me?
I'm not holding anybody.
This is your fault.
I'm not holding anybody.
This is your fault,
what?
counselor.
Why are you doing this? Stop. I'm in a public area.
Can you guys just back up?
Guys, stop.
I'm documenting the beating.
No, stop. Hey, call my wife.
Just back up.
Call all the Tucson guys. I'm not even resisting. You guys are pulling me in different directions.
I can't back them
You're
up.
pulling me in different directions. I'm not even pulling.
You can film. You can film him. Just let him please.
Okay. All right. She was behind you.
I got it. That's why we weren't pushing. I got it. That's why we weren't pushing. Okay?
Oh, Bond girl You're funny. You didn't know that attacking people is even more dangerous than medians.
Get help. Contact my lawyers, please.
Will do.
Zach and Blair.
You guys are in deep shit.
This was a
Chief Nolan, you're going down for
civil
this.
deposition that the police,
You guys are
against
hey, I'm not
the police
resisting. You're
have
pulling me in
decided to
different
intervene.
directions. Yeah.
Let's just calm down.
Yeah.
You guys have cards or
Okay, can the person on my legs get off? You're cutting off circulation. I'm not resisting. You guys are pulling and pushing me in different
You got
directions.
your lawyers in there.
Who's on my legs? Can you get them off? You're cutting off circulation to my feet, please.
Yeah, and you can't keep them.
I'm not going anywhere.
Chief Nolan, get off his legs.
Get them off.
He can't breathe properly when he's on his stomach. You
I
know
have
this.
the right.
I'm not going anywhere.
I know, but let's keep it.
I'm
Let's
not
keep it
going. You're
down.
not resisting.
He's not resisting.
Yes.
How long have you wanted to do this, Nolan?
We're leaning towards me.
Yeah.
All right. You're pulling up this shoulder.
How about answering my
I'm not very
letter?
strong.
Thank you, William.
I'm gonna let's get up and pull it. All right, ready? Go.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm not very
5,
strong, man. I'm
6.
holding weak.
It's actually 7, not 6. 7, guys. You were close.
Yeah, it's pretty tight on the right.
Where's
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Are you live?
Live to everyone. The whole world's going to be calling soon, guys. Did you do the right thing? Did you make the right
They
decision?
didn't even know what they were getting into.
Was he even asked anything?
Man, I bet that this police department has turned their phones off because I can only imagine the amount of phone calls they've been getting. When you do something like this to a man like that, I mean, you're gonna you're gonna face some administrative consequences from the people. You know, I can only imagine what their Facebook page looks like right now, if they even still have one. This is interesting.
I just showed up.
What
happened?
What? Were you personally involved in it?
No, involved in what?
Who are you? What is your name?
My name is Lieutenant John Pearl.
Are you in charge here?
No,
Who's in charge?
I would assume the chief is in charge.
Chief Nolan, the person who violently attacked James Freeman? Is that who? Is that
And
who
had
did it?
run to his office? You okay, James? Do you need medical treatment?
AIKE. AIKE.
Oh, okay. You guys been waiting a long time to do this, haven't you? You don't want to attack me for a long time, haven't you?
Heath, that video make you mad? And you were up in her face, bullying her? Tell you what, if you walked into my house and did that to my wife,
Freeman, stop. You're not accomplishing anything right now. Let me get your cuffs and deal with what's going on.
You know what? I actually agree with this cop right here with what she's saying. That once you've been, especially once you've got the handcuffs on, that's time to stop. It's time to stop talking. Now, I understand James is not a man that will back down from saying what he wants to say. And this is not an attack on his character or what James knows what he's doing. He doesn't need my advice. But this is advice that for anyone else who isn't James Freeman in this situation, it's good advice from this cop.
I know his name is James.
Don't answer. What is your name?
Officer Daniels.
Why are you interviewing people?
He wanted to get my license.
Oh, really? You want to get ID from a witness?
Just to get a statement.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't give it to you.
just like the result. Why don't we go over here and talk about what's actually going on? I love that.
We're gonna take you downstairs.
Sure. Just make sure that gets on.
Is he under arrest? Is he under arrest?
Is my camera getting under arrest?
Just, we will talk to you.
Can we just,
We're not gonna do
stall?
this.
Sure. Can we stall what's going on? Because I'm just trying to conduct some business.
Right now, but we're gonna deal with what's happening right this
Sure.
minute, and then we'll.
Being attacked by Chief Nolan? Being attacked, physically attacked in a private space by Chief Nolan? That's what we're gonna deal with?
We're gonna deal with what's happening right now.
Falquez, you like taking girls down?
Oh, you better hold on.
Yeah, you got it.
You want me to hold on?
No, I got it. Anybody else see it? Anybody else want to make a statement on the record?
No.
Huh?
Certainly don't.
Anybody else?
Yo, shout out to whoever's filming this. This is why you do this with more than one person. If it wasn't for the guy who's filming this, which I'm not sure who it was, I think someone who was hanging out with Pigs Under Pressure or something. I can't remember. Does anyone know the name of the guy filming this? Shout out to him. Because without James, or without that guy, James we might have never seen the reality of what just happened there. So shout out to him.
Y'all want to make a statement on the record of what happened here? Who was a witness to the attack? We got a couple people who are witness to the attack. Were you guys witnesses? Let's get all your names and numbers before you leave.
You have our names and stuff.
What's your name and number again?
Give it to you. It's
Now,
Carlson.
Rivera.
You have it?
Is that your name?
Yeah.
What's your number? SB282. What's your name and number?
Officer Lewis, SP359.
Did you see what happened?
I did not.
Your eyes were shut? Was your body cam rolling?
I just barely got.
Was your body cam rolling? Whose body cam was rolling? Raise your hand. Conveniently, no one's, right?
You have a case number? Okay. And then you can show her, and then we'll get out of here.
What's your name and number?
She's from.
Sergeant Siebold, SP255.
Did you see what happened? Are you a witness?
I did not.
Is your body cam running?
I do not have body on camera with me.
Convenient.
All right. Back to that breaking news we first told you about right off the top. A popular.
I didn't know this made it to the news. How did I not see this? How did one of you guys not send me this? You guys are being lazy. I don't pay you $5,000 an hour for nothing now. Come on.
YouTuber claiming that the Sahuarita police chief assaulted him.
A popular YouTuber who claims the Sahuarita police chief assaulted him.
Well, a popular YouTuber claims the Sahuarita police chief assaulted him.
I missed a lot of news coverage on that. What the hell? What the fuck?
I was held for about 6 hours, and the chief accused me of felony aggravated assault on a police officer, on a peace officer, on him.
James Freeman has been going on live on his YouTube and posting videos to his page saying the police chief attacked him, yet Freeman was arrested on suspicion of assault.
They brought in an investigator.
It's weird how she said that sentence and how it was structured. I just want to listen to that one more time. Because there's a lot of you can read between the lines in how this is worded.
Felony aggravated assault on a police officer, on a peace officer, on him.
James Freeman has been going on live on his YouTube and posting videos to his page saying the police chief attacked him, yet Freeman was arrested on suspicion of assault.
They brought it.
Well, okay. To be fair, I think that at the time that report was probably made, I doubt that they had James's side of the footage. So now that I'm thinking about that and putting it into context, maybe that was a really accurate way to describe it at the time. Because if I remember correctly, they said that he was or James said that he wasn't releasing the footage until today. And I'm assuming this is part of that. So
an investigator from Marana, Arizona, who viewed all of the video, talked to dozens of witnesses, and released me with no charges.
Freeman was arrested on suspicion of assault after attempting to gain access to a secure room and trying to keep its door from being closed.
The investigation will be sent up to the state's attorney's office to see if any charges will be filed against John Noland for attacking me.
In addition, an independent agency will also do a professional standards investigation to review the actions of law enforcement officers and the police chief involved in the incident.
This is kind of a bittersweet thing because it's good that they're doing an investigation with a third party and that the AG is looking at potentially criminal charges, We'll see if that happens or not. But But at the same time, now that because they're like we were talking about earlier, because they've now started an internal investigation, they're probably not going to release any of the body camera footage until that's over. So we'll probably be waiting for a while to see some of the context that's leading up to this.
I've done a small handful of videos about Chief Nolan in Sarita in the last few months. And in those videos, I've let him show himself for what he is. And he's, in my opinion, I believe he is a bad man. He's not just a bad cop. He's not just a bad chief. He's not just a bad leader. He's a bad man.
Minutes ago, the Sahuarita town manager released a statement on the alleged assault saying, quote, "I have tremendous confidence in the Sahuarita Police Department and the men and women who work hard every day to keep this community safe."
Oh, okay.
And when he approached
Wait, what was the other part of what he said?
Who work hard every day to keep this community safe.
Incidents like these are never easy, and we appreciate the support of the external investigating agencies as they each conducted independent and objective reviews. It's kind of hard to have confidence in your police force when the main guy at your police force is acting like this.
And when he approached me today, as soon as he approached, I could see the anger and the hate in his eyes, and that he wanted to do as much physical harm to me as he possibly could. And I think the reason he attacked me was to try to get me to defend myself so that he could do the worst to me.
He goes on to say, incidents like these are never easy, and we appreciate the support of the external investigating agencies as they each conduct independent and objective reviews. We cannot comment further until these investigations are completed.
I've never seen a cop so angry, so personally frustrated, mad, and angry about being exposed in one of my videos as Chief John Nolan was. That man came for blood and revenge.
It'll likely be some time before we hear any new developments on this incident. In the meantime, I've linked Pastor Steve's YouTube channel along with James Freeman's so you can follow their updates and get the latest information as it's released. In the meantime, let me know what you think of this series of events. Is this a cameraman assaulting someone, or is it a cameraman being assaulted? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to head over to James and Pastor Steve's channel and let them know I sent you.
All right. Well, we finally saw the actual footage. We've heard a lot about it since it happened. Michelle, James is not a pastor, but the individual who had their house raided by the cops is a pastor. I gotta say that it's interesting how this is being handled afterwards, because they did not charge him ultimately with anything, and he was out of jail the very same day that he was put in. So that says a lot about the credibility of what the chief did. If they can't back up what he did with some kind of criminal charge, that looks really bad. And it's interesting that that hasn't happened. And it's also interesting that there is a potential for the chief to face criminal charges here. I can only imagine what there, like, let me just put it to you this way. If we were to see that one instance of force in a vacuum, right? And let's say that James and Nolan were both wearing plain clothes. We're just removing the law enforcement element of it. There'd be no question about who assaulted who. But the only caveat that we have to give deference to Chief Nolan is the fact that he's a police chief. So that's the only element of this that could introduce criminality to the situation. And I just don't see it. I don't see it. There's no criminality at all. He issued a vague command that didn't appear to be backed by any lawful authority, and then immediately assaulted James over issuing that command. I don't know where anyone would conclude that James was the one who did the assaulting. And the whole, it just says a lot that they immediately dropped those charges, or they never even really existed. He got out the very same day. So, all right. Man, James is probably going to have a fucking massive lawsuit on his hands. And because it's the chief of police in particular, that's going to add a lot of credibility to a lot of other people's cases involving this police department too, I believe. So, man, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know Lackluster.
You got your ID?
5 days ago. Oops. Remember when we talked about that video? I didn't know he covered that. Anyway. So yeah, I can't wait to read the complaint that James's attorney is no doubt drafting right now. And I have zero doubt that that he's gonna shit on the Sarita Police Department. That's gonna be a big one. And but the question really is gonna be, does he settle? And I think that the settlement terms will say a lot about the whole situation. It'd be because James is a creative person, and we know, how people like Jeff Gray like to handle situations like this, where they donate a lot or require certain stipulations as part of the settlement, which I would like to see from James, and I'm sure he'll do. This town is going to go bankrupt. Hope they learn and do better with their police force next time. Yeah, especially if like this is coming from the top down. I mean, the police chief was the perpetrator of this whole thing. So it says a lot about the entire department when you're being led by someone who's pretty unhinged in the way that they approach policing. So he never got charged, or they dropped the charges. The news girl said he got charged with assault. I think that what happened was they were originally going to charge him with assault, and maybe they might have at some point. I'm not sure if it actually got to a prosecutor or if they just never actually filed the charges. A lot of times in the news industry in particular, stuff like that will be said, like someone within the department will have said, yes, we intend to file these charges, and then it never come to fruition. I'll try to ask James about that though. We need to file a class action suit for the trauma by watching that. For real. What a stressful nightmare. I hope they settle with James that along with the mayor and city council, James too may have the privilege of standing in the medians. Yeah, he should make that a condition of his settlement, that he has special privilege to stand in the medians whenever he wants. That's funny. Got it. Pastor Steve Aiken, he and his wife are the ones that had their homes broken into for a welfare check. All caught up. Yes, that's exactly what happened. And please, if you haven't seen either, honestly, you should watch both mine and James's video, because my video breaks down, the legal and does what ATA does, but James actually went and interviewed them, spliced the interview with the footage. He gave a lot of context that ATA is not really designed to capture. So I think it's worth your time to check out James's version of his coverage of that video. He said that he was held for 6 hours, and another agency came and released him with no charges. So I guess it never made it to a prosecutor. So that was probably likely a rumor, and something that the news agency had heard from a personal contact within the department. I imagine that report probably came out quickly after this happened, maybe the next day. Cop Tua for prison. Yeah, for real. If they don't arrest, they open themselves up to immediate liability. Yeah. Well, in this case, it's even worse though when they do arrest and then they don't press any charges. That is the biggest liability window I've ever seen open up, for someone to file a claim against, because it just, I mean, on its face says a lot. And I think if you told that to a jury, that it would be hard to convince them that what the chief did was lawful in any capacity. They don't give two ducks about liability. Yeah, that's true. They really don't. Phil, I stand with Freeman in the median. That's hilarious. That's where you should stand with Freeman. If you're going to stand with Freeman, do it in the median. That's so funny, dude. Thank you for the 20, dude. That was the best comment of the day for sure. Well, I actually tried to call James not long after I ended the live stream the day that it happened. We did talk briefly, and then I tried to call him again because I was going to try to see if he wanted to come on a live stream soon and talk about this. I wasn't aware that he was going to be publishing, or that he was going to be, kind of disseminating it out to everyone. So I was kind of hoping that he would come and talk. No, I don't think I'm going to react to any more videos today because the other videos I had ready. Well, actually, yeah. We do have a 7-minute long video. I guess we can watch that and then we'll wrap it up. So let's see what we got here. This is coming from BPcast channel. And the title is, he told the cops he doesn't consent to a search and they did it anyway. So we'll do one more. And that'll be it. I gotta take a piss after this anyway. All right, let's see what's up.
What are you searching my car for? There's nothing in there. You're violating my rights, sir. Stopping me for saying I didn't stop at a stop sign. This is Phoenix Police for you. Why are you going through my car? Why are you going through my car? What's going on? He just went and searched my vehicle without even asking me. Had me come out here, sit on the ground. My rights are totally being violated. All for a traffic stop.
Okay.
Okay, that's violating my rights.
Which rights are those? So do you need me for anything?
But yeah, he was going through my Jeep and
I understand
it's a traffic stop.
What would you like me to do about that, though?
What's good, YouTube? It's BBcast back in with another video and another reaction. And in today's video is from the Phoenix Police Department over there in Arizona. You had these Phoenix police officers pull over this guy to say that he didn't stop at a stop sign. Then it went from that to them having him get out the car. And then they just end up searching his car. Even though that he told these officers he does not want his car searched, he doesn't consent, they just searched it anyway. And you're going to see where the supervisor ended up coming. And he was telling the supervisor.
My bad, guys. I didn't even realize I was blocking BPcast's face that whole time. I can't move myself around through this streaming software, though. Sorry.
How like these officers just violated his rights, and you having the supervisor just say, what do you want me to do about it? Because like I said, 9 times out of 10, that supervisor is not going to care. He's always going to agree with his officers. And it just goes to show, man, you always just got to get a dash cam, because whenever these officers be
It is in Arizona again, isn't it? We're just having a fucking shit on Arizona day.
line and say you made this turn or you didn't stop at a light or whatever, dash cam will never lie because officers will. I'm gonna watch it, get my reaction. Let me know what y'all think about the comment section. Let's get into the video.
I want all your names. All this for a stop sign? What are you searching my car for? Stay out of my car. There's nothing in there. You're violating my rights, sir. What's your badge number?
No, I'm not using OBS today.
I got you guys. This is good. You're not gonna find nothing. Joke. You guys are gonna walk away feeling stupid, feeling really dumb. This guy's searching my Jeep against my, without me giving him permission, for stopping me for saying I didn't stop at a stop sign. This is Phoenix Police for you. What's your R. Morgan? I don't even want, you guys aren't even doing nothing. This guy's violating my rights. You stopped me for no reason.
No, I had a reason to stop him.
Why is this guy going through my car? Doesn't he have to have permission to do that? Why are you going through my car? Why are you going through my car? Close my doors, please. You had no right. You illegally searched my vehicle. You're gonna get it. All you guys are. What's your badge number? 9931. Illegally searched. All because you guys say I didn't stop at a stop sign. You happy?
Actually, so you're non-compliance.
No. I know my rights. I was complying. I didn't have to roll down my window.
Did he just say he searched because of their non-compliance? Sorry, I got to hear that again.
Legally search. All because you guys say I didn't stop at a stop sign. You happy?
Actually, so you're non-compliance.
No.
So he's searching his car for his non-compliance? That's what's going on here?
I know my rights. I was complying. I didn't have to roll down my window.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I didn't have to get out of the car. You guys, I know my rights.
Good. So
Well, that was a bad statement there. If they think he ran a stop sign, I mean, we all know this, right? The Mims case does give them the authority to pull you out of your car. He does have to get out of his car, but they can't search his car just because he wasn't compliant. Yes, the classic. Thank you for taking the time to type that out the way you did, because that is exactly how it should have been typed.
you understand.
No, I know you searched my car without me even giving you permission on a full stop. Yeah, correct. Yeah, for what?
Well, you know your rights, so you should understand.
Yeah, that's right. You violated my rights. All you guys are. What's all this for? For a stop sign? Oh my God, this is funny. Funny. Okay, well, I'm gonna wait for you guys to finish doing what you're doing. This is funny. All because I didn't stop at a stop sign. They say. Hello.
What's going on?
This guy searched my vehicle without. They say I didn't stop at a stop sign. I know I did. Okay. I don't do drugs. I'm totally legal on everything. He just went and searched my vehicle without even asking me. Had me come out here, sit on the ground. My rights are totally being violated for over a traffic stop.
He is searching your vehicle, or he wants to search your vehicle?
No, he went in my vehicle and searched it without asking me, and I told him not to go in my vehicle.
Okay.
All for a traffic stop.
Okay.
Now, if he asked, it was explicitly denied consent to search, and they don't have probable cause to go into the vehicle, illegal search. That's how it works. And this isn't legal advice. This is just me commenting on how this is supposed to go. And I just want to say to Simply Savvy, I'll entertain your questions after we watch this video for a couple minutes, but just save them for then.
Okay, that's violating my rights.
Which rights are those?
You know which rights.
Well, I'm just making sure that we're on the same page.
You know what page we're on. I'm not going to play this with you. You know I know my rights.
Well,
he searched my vehicle without me for a traffic stop. Why did he search my vehicle?
About?
Why did he search my vehicle? I'm not going to play.
My question to you is, do you know your rights? On a
yes, I do.
Stop?
I do.
So why don't you tell me, and then I'll tell you what they are.
I'm not going to play games with you.
Okay, yeah, he's just playing games. Why don't you tell me your rights, and then I'll tell you what they are? Let me decide what your rights are, is what he's basically saying here. Fuck off, dude. If the guy says he knows his rights, then why not believe him? Like, what could you gain as a police officer from not believing someone when they say, I know my rights? The only thing you can gain from that is a fucking lawsuit, brother. So why play these games? I mean, room temperature IQ is what we're working with here, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy right here is a perfect example of that.
Right now, sir. I just want to get on my way. Don't you guys got better things to do? Fentanyl? Don't you got people doing fentanyl and all that stuff all around here? I mean, if I didn't stop at a stop sign, which I know I did. Okay. What's all this for? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I know it's quiet. I can't change it.
Well, yeah, he was going through my Jeep again. It's a traffic stop.
What would you like me to do about that, though?
Like I said earlier, 9 times out of 10, they always going to agree with their officers. What do you want me to do about it?
I just want to go. I mean, it's on.
Yeah, what I want you to do about it is your fucking job, dude. That's what I want you to do about it, especially if you're the supervisor here. What I'd like you to do is tell your fucking officers that they can't just go into people's vehicle without consent or probable cause. That's what everyone would like you to do.
want to be on my way. I mean, I haven't done nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is all ridiculous.
I understand.
The way
that's
he's treating me, the way I was treated, you know what I'm saying? Like I did some big property.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. You're not in handcuffs. You're sitting on a curb talking to me. So
But I mean, I shouldn't even sit on the curb. Why can't I be sitting in my car?
And they got this guy sitting out on the curb in handcuffs over running a stop sign. Why can't cops just issue a ticket and fuck off? Why do they insist on doing more work? That's what I don't understand, is like, this is a burden to them too. Dude, just give him the fucking stop sign ticket and go about your day. You don't have to turn every minor infraction into a full-scale investigation.
If you want to talk to me, you got to give me a chance to talk. The way
Okay,
this
I'm
works
sorry.
is I talk
I'm
and
just a
then
little
you talk.
upset. All right,
I know
I'm sorry.
I know you're emotional. I understand that. But give me a second. I'm gonna try to like bring you down a little bit, okay?
All right.
Because I know you're frustrated.
Yeah.
But you got to give me a chance to talk. All right. So I'll find out why we're searching your vehicle, and then I'll explain it to
Yeah,
you. So,
I know why they are, because they think I'm probably
Once
got
again,
drugs or something.
you got to let me talk, dude.
Okay.
Like, give me an opportunity. I'm trying to side with you.
All right.
Keith asks, with the MIMS case, can't they only ask you out of the car if it's an officer's safety is questionable? No, that is not what the MIMS case says. They can offer or order you out of your vehicle as a matter of course, is how it was characterized in the MIMS case. So it doesn't really even have anything to do with officer safety. I mean, that is where the underlying principle comes from, but the actual ruling is that they can pull you out of the car as a matter of course during a traffic stop. So it's not tied specifically to officer safety, although that is the element that's often cited to support it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what I want to say is they have no reason to search my vehicle. I should not have. Don't they ask you usually first? Can I research your vehicle?
No.
Why not? That's what they always ask me all the time. Can we search your vehicle, sir?
What year was this?
Now, I think they're just taking advantage of this guy because, again, we have a situation where it's a person who knows just enough to understand that something is not right about this, but not quite enough to be able to thoroughly articulate what exactly is wrong with this problem. And it's very clear that these officers are predatory and just taking advantage of what this guy doesn't know and using vagueness and, veils of truth to take advantage of the situation and do what they want to do. This might, if there's enough, that if we had enough information about this video, this would be another one worthy of requesting the body camera footage of.
I don't know, but that's usually how it was. I mean, since when do they just search your vehicle without?
Well,
asking?
I'm gonna caution you that times,
I mean, if there was a
times
reason
do
for it.
change.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if there was a reason. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'll come back to you when you calm down.
And that's just a prime example of officers being blind to the Fourth Amendment. Because in the beginning, you having this guy tell this officer, I did not give you consent to search my car, and he just kept on searching it anyway.
Why is this guy going through my car? Doesn't he have to have permission to do that? Why are you going through my car? Why are you going through my car?
Did not give him one reason on why they were searching his car. They just did it because they wanted to. And then the supervisor ended up coming. He acted just like I expected him to act, sticking up for his officers no matter what and just being blind to the Fourth Amendment.
He just went and searched my vehicle without even asking me. My rights are totally being violated.
Which rights are those? I understand.
It's a traffic stop.
That's so infuriating to be. Which rights are those? How about the ones guaranteed by the Constitution? The ones protected by the Constitution, those rights.
Like me to do about that?
It's really like hitting the lottery when you get a supervisor that actually cares, because it's always going to be just these type of supervisors going to be like, well, what do you want me to do about it? It's just kind of crazy how these officers' body cameras weren't on either. And that's why I'm saying when you had
Not only that, but they're not wearing any identifying name tag, nothing like that. I mean, this is the most bare bones police uniform I've ever seen. It looks fake almost because there's just no insignia on the front. All he's wearing is a badge, no name, no identifiers. You have to see him from the side to even know what department this is. This looks like a fake cop.
a dash cam, it can never lie because officers will, or they could just delete their body cam footage. That's my take on it, though. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. How you feel about these Phoenix police officers for pulling this guy over, having him get out the car, and they just end up searching his car, even though he's telling these officers he doesn't consent. He doesn't want them searching it.
All right. Rest of that video is BP Cast laying it down. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Randall says he's surprised they're not wearing masks. I mean, how far are they willing to take this? You know, you can see that. Let me show you this again. The supervisor actually is wearing a name tag, but the other officers weren't. Wonder if that's a policy violation. I bet it is. All right, we got a couple minutes, just a couple minutes left. So what the fuck was this sovereign bullshit you were talking about, Savvy? I'd love to hear about it now. Let me go back in the chat and see what he was saying. I wish there was a way I could isolate one particular person's comments. Is that a thing? Does anyone know? I don't think that's a thing, is it? Now I can't see. Oh, there you are. Let's see. See your activity. Okay, I can see that. Okay, so I can actually. Oh no, I can't really. That sucks. Let me go back to the bottom here. None of us are streamers, John, so that's why we're here. You are asking the wrong crowd. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't expect you guys to know what I don't know, you know? I just feel like sometimes we can bring our collective consciousness together to solve these problems that I'm having. But to be honest, look, I'm as new to this as any of you would be if you were to start streaming right now. I have about a month of experience at this point, but that's about it. If we were actually chatting, yeah, it would be loud as fuck in here. Fairlane bringing up something interesting about Pennsylvania versus Mims. You need to go watch James's channel, my man. He has a whole video dedicated to this particular question. Pennsylvania versus Mims, the reasonable suspicion aspect of that came into when they were doing the Terry frisk that was subsequent to the order to get out of the vehicle. So what happened in that case was that an officer routinely got people out of the car during every traffic stop that he did. And it was a common thing. He said that it was overall safer, was his logic behind it, that it was safer, more convenient. He had a couple different reasons why, but he did it to everyone, not just when he felt in danger, but every traffic stop, he got people out and brought them to the back of their car to talk to them. That part is you can do as a matter of course. You can just get someone out of their vehicle. You, as a police officer, you have the authority to order someone to get out of their vehicle under Pennsylvania versus Mims. But this is where a lot of police officers get really fucked up with the Mims case, is because it did not say that you can pat them down as a matter of course. That is an entirely separate instance from getting them out of the vehicle as a matter of course. That aspect you can do. But the pat down requires reasonable suspicion, just like any other Terry frisk would. And the case of Arizona v. Gant clarified that. So if you need to know more about that, first of all, I suggest you watch James White's video from Southern Draw Law about that topic, because it's very thorough. Or, of course, you could read about this in the Civilian Rights Hand Guide, which I had a whole chapter talking about the Mims case and how it relates to the Gant case, and why it is different. You have to suspect that someone's armed and dangerous before you can conduct a pat down search. So I know that was like short story long, but there's my answer for you. What's the case that makes passengers not need to identify on a traffic stop? And what about them getting out? The Mims case also, well, it's not the Mims case. Don't make me try to remember the sister case. We talked about this recently. I'm trying to remember what the name of this. I think it's Wilson. I think it's a Wilson case, or is it the Cabeas case, the Illinois case? One of those. Anyway, there's a sister case to the Mims case. Brendlin, is it Brendlin? I can't remember right now. But essentially, it extended the authority that's granted to officers during the Mims case to passengers as well. So what we have here at the end is it's Maryland v. Wilson, right? So what we have at the end here is officers can control the movement of anyone involved in a traffic stop. But they can't just pat someone down without having reasonable suspicion to do that. That's what the Terry case was talking about. Now, as far as them not needing to identify, yeah, the Wilson's a sister case. Yeah. That's right. I'm still confused. That's what I was stating. They have to have suspicion that you're carrying a firearm before or no, look. No, what I'm saying, Fairlane, is that they do not need any suspicion beyond what they had for the traffic stop to order you out of the car. They don't need any suspicion beyond that to order you out of the car. That alone is its own separate thing, and that's really what the Mims case tackled. Can they order you out of the car during a traffic stop with no other reason than just ordering you out of the car? Yeah, yes, they can do that. But they can't pat you down after they order you out of the car without some suspicion of you being dangerous or armed. Yes, Brendlin. Brendlin is the case that I was going there. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. But yeah, passengers don't have to identify because of the Brendlin case. You got to bear in mind, officers only had the authority over anyone, really, if they have a suspicion of them being involved in a crime or they're involved in a traffic stop. You know, traffic stops inherently change the dynamics of the Fourth Amendment because often the passengers are essentially caught in the crossfire of a Terry stop involving someone else. But, you know, the courts have concluded that ordering you out of the car, whether you're a driver or a passenger, is a very minimal intrusion into your Fourth Amendment because you were already going to be detained for some amount of time to conduct the traffic stop anyway. So that's kind of where the logic behind that comes from. One man says that you used to be able to walk away if you weren't driving, but that got codified into law later on. It's not codified into law, to be fair. It's not codified into law. That it's common law. It's a legal doctrine that dictates their authority to control someone. Now, it may manifest itself in a state statute somewhere, but there doesn't have to be a specific law about their authority to do that in order for them to do that. So, but nonetheless, prior to the Mims case and the litigation that came out of that, you're probably right. They probably did have a lot of situations where they wanted to keep a passenger and make them stay on the scene, but they didn't necessarily have like the common law doctrine to draw from to give them the authority to do that. And that's where we come, you know, that's how we got to where we are today, basically through the courts. Oh, all right, guys. I think my voice is going out. I've talked way too much today. I feel like I interrupt the videos too much when I'm on the live stream because I just have so much shit to say about them. Michelle, is it legal? Hold on, let me throw up this disclaimer because I'm about to ask or answer a direct legal question here. Is it legal for police to ID someone in the back of a seat of a vehicle? Well, it depends. Okay. Let me paint two scenarios for you so you can get a good understanding of this. And this is going to be the last thing I talk about today. And I'll shut the fuck up and we'll go about our days. So the answer is yes and no. It depends on the circumstances, right? Just like everything else in law and law enforcement. So I'll just paint two scenarios because I think this is the easiest way to convey the intricacies of this. If there's a person in the back seat of a car that's stopped for a traffic infraction, okay, and that is the entire motivation of the stop, at no point during the interaction does the officer develop more suspicion beyond the initial traffic stop, then they would not be within their authority to identify the backseat passenger. Because at that time, the only one who's suspected of committing a crime is the driver. Now, let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say a cop is driving down the road. He passes a car and somebody's just taking a big bong rip in the back seat. Okay. In that case, a separate crime has occurred. He witnessed something that gave him reasonable suspicion to believe that something illegal was happening that involved the back passenger, not the driver. In that case, he can pull that car over and identify the back passenger. And also the driver and pretty much everyone else in that car, because they're all likely implicated in this crime. So yes, they can identify the passenger if they have a particularized suspicion that that passenger is involved in a crime separate from the traffic stop. So that's to put it all into one sentence for you. Yes, that would give them the probable cause or the reasonable suspicion necessary. So what they get through this show me audits is if they know the person and believe they have a warrant and can, articulate that belief to a reasonable degree, then that would qualify as the reasonable suspicion that would be required to identify a particularized crime that he could use to demand ID. Oh, I'd love to hear that story, Fairlane. Shoot me an email. Yes, it is pee time. I really got to piss. Thanks, Dominique. I appreciate you reminding me about that. I forgot about it almost. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining in. Oh, one more thing I want to say. I didn't want to say this at the beginning of the stream because I didn't want to get you all butthurt and mad at me. I do have something special, seriously planned for this coming stream that I was going to do today, but there's a reason I'm lining it up on a Thursday. Maybe that'll give you a hint as to what it is. Maybe not. That's very cryptic. So if you can decipher that, good on you. But this coming stream, I promise you, there is going to be something different and interesting about it, and funny and enjoyable and entertaining. So Thursday, 6 to 9 Central Time, please be there because it's going to be a good time. We're going to have fun. And if you could leave a like on this video, be sincerely appreciated. Yeah, my butt hurts too. All right. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. One man, Ms. Lorraine, Michelle, Dennis, Donald, Domineer, Fairlane, everyone. Thirsty Thursday. Oh, God, I can't do a drinking game. I got responsibilities after these streams. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you here Thursday, 6 to 9. See you in the next one, everyone. Cheers.